absolutely adored it. Watching them win and extras and all the one-run wins that they would have as this kind of plucky underdog was great. Watching this team rake and watching them take 2 consecutive series, including against teams you needed to beat. You're going to have a tough stretch here on an East Coast road trip. Yes, it begins against Baltimore. They are really floundering, but then you're going to take on a Mets team. I know they just got walloped by the Brewers, but still a really good Mets team, a really good Phillies team that also knows how to rake. This is going to be a tough one, Bump. I could not have loved this weekend more.
Get it all out then, Stace. Let's go. It's Monday. Get hyped. And you should be hyped. You know why? Because this is total domination. That's why it feels different. Because those past teams have been squeaking by, and it took a home run for Cal to get into the playoffs. And like you mentioned, all the one-run situations with this one, it's like, these guys are just doing it. I'm on the golf course yesterday, just listening to the game, and I never felt like they're going to lose the ball game. Even when it was close for a little bit, never felt like they're going to lose it. And it's because of performances we're getting from Cal, from Julio, Naylor. Canzone's been up and down, but when he plays well, he plays well. Cole Young's been pretty good through the month of August. No, this is a different type of ball team. You feel like you can win every single game. You're not going to. 7 in a row. The longest streak of the season for these guys. I believe the second active longest streak behind the Brewers, who got 9 in a row. But no, it's because of the way they're playing. It's domination. I was thinking, remember that movie Bring It On?
Do I remember Bring It On? Yeah.
What was it? Prepare for domination before they
domination. Y'all ready for this?
Exactly. That's how I feel. They should play that song before the next game.
They absolutely should. It's Big Red just coaching up the Mariners, and we're like, we knew you were awful. Let's talk about what we liked, loved, and frankly, disliked is going to be a tough one. But go ahead and get those in as well. 866-979-3776. We'll start with what we liked. I got a couple here. I'm going to start with Josh Naylor hitting a bomb on Sunday.
The 2-2. Swung on, smashed, right field. This has got a chance. It's in the seats. Josh Naylor, a solo home run. His 4th with the Mariners, his 15th on the year. A little more breathing room for the Mariners. It's 5-3 in the 7th inning. Mariners continue to play long ball.
Josh Naylor in his last 7, 348, 423, 826, 3 home runs, 5 RBI, 2 walks. Also has 6 stolen bases in his last 7. Just a great stretch of play since coming to Seattle.
Yeah, Naylor's been doing his thing, man. 21, 22 stolen bases or something like that. I didn't expect that in him. Didn't know he had that in his game, but I'm glad he added it to his game. Also, I heard a great nickname for him, the Big Grumper, because he looks grumpy. I love it. But here's a story about he looks grumpy, but my buddy took his grandkids to the ball game. It's crazy. I'm kicking it with guys who have grandkids, right? That's how old I'm getting.
Yeah,
the homie's got grandkids, and Naylor has this this aura about him that he looks mad all the time. He took his jersey off and gave it to the kid who was about 5 or 6 years old. So the Big Grumper has a soft side as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Josh has been it's been great. When he was signed, he was thought of more of a contact hitter. Just put the ball in play, keep things going, be solid defensively. But it's like he's changed his profile a little bit. He's been hitting bombs, stealing bases. He has been solid defensively. Naylor was a great signing. It's crazy that he's producing more than Gino right now. We expected Gino to kind of be that guy producing on a high level, but it's all good. Gino will come around. Naylor's picking up the slack.
What's something else you liked, not loved, just liked? I mean, we'll get to loved. We'll saved our favorites. But something that you liked that maybe you were like, okay, I didn't have enough room in the loved column.
Yeah, liked is just Wu being himself. Wu just going another quality start, looking like he's dominating out there. And it's weird. It's like the longer his hair gets, the more swag he gets to me. It's like he's when he was a rookie, when I first saw him, he was a guy out there just trying to execute. Now it's like I'm trying to execute, and I'm doing it with a little more swag and flair. And I like that, man, because I like seeing athletes when they reach that level of confidence to where they just believe in everything that they're doing. And that's where Wu is at this point of the season. And I get jealous because I'll never feel that feeling again, Stacy, just being out there on a field or a diamond or a court.
You don't ever start a show and you're just cooking, you hit hour 2, and you're like, I've had so many good segments.
It ain't the same. It just ain't the same when you have to perform. And so seeing Wu be Wu was fun.
Let's get to what we loved because there's a lot of stuff to love. So we've just got more here. I'll split it up this way. I really, really liked Cal hitting 3 home runs in 3 games. It was really awesome considering he cooled off. But if I had to choose something I loved from it, the go-ahead home run. The only game I thought they might lose, that go-ahead home run. on the night when, fittingly, Ichiro had talked about embracing pressure, he's getting MVP chance. He's in a slump. He's getting MVP chance. He's already had a home run the day before, but it's not like he's been, like, sizzling or whatever and hits a bomb. I loved that moment. Let's go to it.
And now the 2-0 pitch. The Cal swinging a drive deep to right center field. Peters going back, looking up. Goodbye, baseball. Cal did it. Number 43 on the season. Holy smokes, that ties him for third all-time by a catcher in a single season.
So again, that happens, and then combining it with, this is another thing I love, but like combining it with that speech the following day with Ichiro talking to the team, I just thought, like, this team has never faced pressure. Not just this team, the Mariners. It's been a really, really long time since they've faced regular pressure, and I thought it was fitting. I know it happened before, but I thought it was like a fitting theme for the weekend.
No, it was great. It was this weekend was beautiful, man. I was driving to the home course. Played really well. I like the home course. I know I talked a little crap about that course a few months back. I take it all back. I love the home course. But I'm driving to the home course, and I'm listening to Ichiro's speech. They played it back. It was Trident Talk I was listening to with Gary Hill doing his thing. And they replayed the Ichiro speech, and it was just great. Like, he took his time. It was like every bar he would stop, everyone would clap. Another bar, boom, stop, clap. It was beautiful. It was nice little hour drive for me to get there. And then you combine it just with everything that's happened. Like, Kyle Raleigh coming out of his slump, he's hitting that home run, and then the next game hits another one. That's that confirmation email. I'm officially out of my slump. Here's a confirmation email. Here's the number. Get back to you. Then the next day, he hits another home run. It was just a beautiful weekend, man. The sun was shining. The vibes were good. The only thing that was missing is Gino really playing like Gino. Everything else seemed perfect, man. And it's scary because you know that this streak is going to come to an end, and there's going to be a game or games where these guys are going to struggle. So I have to tell myself just to be in this moment, and I hope everyone else is too, man. This was like the perfect weekend. The weather, with Ichiro, with the boys getting another sweep, 9-1 in this homestand, one of the hottest teams in the game right now. It was just great to watch.
What did you specifically love from this weekend? It could be the same thing, but
yeah, I love that. But I'm also going to point out Julio, right? Two-run home run game, 3 home runs in this series, or the last 2 series, I believe. Seeing him kind of heat up again, I loved it because we know that Cal can play well, Randy, all of the guys, but if Julio isn't contributing the way that he's been contributing, it's just going to be tough. And now's your chance, man. The AL is weak right now. It is just weak. And you got to take advantage of these opportunities, and they did exactly that. But I love seeing Julio get back to doing Julio things.
The 360 says, one of my favorite moments was the broken bat that ended up sticking up right in the dirt.
That was
dope.
A
favorite moment can be anything. It can be anything.
That one was for the boys. You know when you see people like kick rocks over a mountain and it splashes in the water? It's like, only the boys will get it. That
cool.
was for the boys.
That's what I should have known. Just the sound of dudes everywhere going, cool. They said, I took it as a sign, like, your bats are useless here. Is anything other than a monument to your failure.
I like that.
I like it, 360. 360, another 360. Absolutely loved Julio, his energy too. Yes, absolutely. I find Julio's energy lands significantly better with a fan base when he's playing well, because otherwise people accuse him of, you're not taking it seriously. Right. But when he's raking, all it is it just adds fun. Like, it adds a level of, because that's what you love most about really, really good teams. And this is regardless of sport. Like, when you think of, let's go to football. When you think of the best Seahawks defense you've seen, it was obviously that Legion of Boom era Seahawks defense. One thing you can definitively say about that group is they went out there and they dominated, but they were having fun when they were doing it because they were just that much better. They were playing free. They were that much better than everyone else. I'm not saying the Mariners are that much better than everyone else, but there is a level of, I don't know if dominance is the right. There's a level of winning and confidence that you can have when you win, when you're having fun, and Julio exudes that.
Yeah, he does. And I love him bringing back Raising the Roof. He's been doing it a lot lately. If you don't know what Raising the Roof is, just act like you're pushing something above your head.
Wait, who doesn't know?
Raise the roof. I don't know. Some people might not know. I don't know. You know, you can't assume things. You can't assume things. He brought back Raising the Roof. I remember the first time I saw an athlete do it was Cynthia Cooper back in the 90s when the Houston Comets were balling in the WNBA. But yeah, when Julio is playing good ball and having fun, good things are going to happen. And just the personality of this team, like, you got a little bit of everything with this team, right? You got the grumper, You got the Dumper, who's just like the silent killer out there.
Dumper was dumping.
You got Julio,
Grumper
who's the
grumping.
charismatic, handsome young man who's super engaged with his teammates or whatnot. You have the young Cole Young, who finally has committed to no mustache. I think that's why he's balling. You got Canzone, who's like the awkward dude in your group, but he's good, but he's a little bit awkward over there. You got a little bit of everything. And then you got the swag on the mound with Woo. You got the nerd and brash. It's just, this team is fun to watch right now, and it's even more fun to watch them when they're winning, but I love the personality.
I love everything. I absolutely agree with you. Someone said, thank you for teaching me what Raise the Roof is.
I got you.
I've been living under a rock for 45 years.
I got you. This is why I'm here.
I just woke up from a 50-year coma. Thank you so much. I was wondering what this thing was.
I guarantee there's somebody listening who did not know what Raising the Roof is.
That
guarantee there's somebody out there.
Did you know? Curtis, did anyone on the planet not know what Raise the Roof
Text
meant?
God, it had such a moment all those years ago. It was kind of like the Macarena. It was like post-Macarena.
The Macarena, yeah. I like that. Somebody text him, make me right, please.
Somewhere there's going to be Gen Z kids or maybe even like older Gen Alphas that are on TikTok. Like, so have you guys heard the Macarena? It's absolutely crazy. It's going to take off again. We're going to be like, no. They're going to reintroduce Mambo number 5.
Mambo number 5.
It's all going to be bad.
We're washed.
We mentioned the disliked column. If there is one thing that exists, the 360 echoing your sentiment. Absolutely great week for the M's, they said. But I am kind of afraid that Gino's playing like Seattle Gino. Seattle Gino was pretty good.
He was all right.
He had
30
out a
bombs.
lot. Yeah. But I hear you. I think that, look, if you have to choose something to dislike, it's just the obvious thing to go to, even though I think we're all still grateful that Gino's here and expecting that will change.
The thing is, too, is even though he's not playing up to his standards or our standards, he's still a threat. He still affects the way pitchers attack this lineup because they know the potential that he has. And I think that's fun. It's when that's tough. But I was talking to my buddy and I'm like, where's the weakness in this lineup? Well, like, where is it? We're looking at Canzone, we're looking at Cole Young, but we know they can get you. And we both landed on Gino right now. Like the weakest link right now is Gino. But he's willing to pop at all times. It's almost like when people are talking about 100 men versus a gorilla. Right?
Yeah, 35.
Somebody's got to go first, and that's what's going to stop people from attacking that gorilla.
Yeah,
it's like Gino. Gino's a gorilla. Like, listen, you don't want to mess with him though, because at any time he could pop off and get this thing going. So I'm okay with Gino right now. If we didn't have the help that he was getting around him, I think it'd be amplified a bit more. Yep. But when you have Julio and Cal and Josh and everyone else contributing, you don't ignore that he's struggling, but you're not as concerned.
I mean, the first guy to go against the gorilla definitely dies for sure.
First guy's gone.
I think maybe the first 15
yeah.
to go against the gorilla.
But
then I think you wear the gorilla out, and then I think you get to dude number like 47. And then I think that if you, again, like I said, if everyone works as one following that, like first you send just a couple guys, but then I think that if you get a wave of people moving forward as one, it kind of overwhelms the gorilla.
I don't know, man. Those dudes, they can literally rip your arms out of your socket.
Someone said, I guarantee a lot of boomers didn't know Raise the Roof.
That's what I'm saying. I bet you Fred and Birch Bay. Fred and Birch Bay, text in right now.
I have faith in Fred.
Fred did not know that.
I know Fred knew that. I know he knew that. Someone said, what's Gen Alpha? The younger ones than Gen Z.
So that's my son. He's 15. He's Alpha. Okay. I just don't like Alpha. It makes them sound like they're better than us. Alpha. I don't like that.
Someone said, I love how Julio and Randy always celebrate together in the dugout after a home run. They share the camera. There's so much to love. I mean, all we're pointing to is every single person loves Gino Suarez, and we're going, I guess Gino's not raking, so I guess that's what we didn't love. I mean, it's pretty solid when you have a weekend. Not only did you have a second sweep, not only did you have Cal, burst through a bit of a slump with 3 home runs. You had, Naylor, you had a bunch of guys take off. You're leaving the weekend going, I guess maybe one bad thing happened. I mean, this is the most fun I've had watching a Mariners team since I don't know when. This is consistently where I'm going into an East Coast road trip going, I'm feeling pretty good.
I was talking to Salk, and I was like, man, I'm so happy for Mariners fans, because the way I feel about the Mariners is the way that I felt about the Dodgers for the last 4 or 5 years. Like, you always got a chance. And sports haven't been so kind to the Seattle fan since the Seahawks made the Super Bowl or won the Super Bowl, right? It's always like some disappointment. And I'm like, man, I'm loving it, because I've gotten to have this feeling for a while now with the Dodgers, and I'm like passing it over to Mariners fans. I'm like, yes, love it, be in this moment, and I hope they can continue to do it and make things interesting towards the end of the year. That's all you want, is to feel like your team can win every ball game, and you feel that way. I feel that way. I think the text lines do too.
Speaking of the text line, 253 says, "Don't be hating on Mambo number 5."
Oh, that was a banger.
At least he remembered all them names. Now listen, what we're not gonna do. Because he was seeing them all at the same time. Right? That's the point of the song. He's talking to all these girls. He should know their names.
Hey.
These are like exes he's remembering.
That was his Rolodex.
Oh, 253. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, Shedeur Sanders threw a pair of touchdowns for the Browns in their preseason opener. What's the real headline?
That means since October, Shedeur has more touchdowns and Achilles tendons than Deshaun Watson.
Dang. Hey, proud of Shedeur.
Yeah.
It was against 2s and 3s, I get it. But if you watched the way he was maneuvering in the pocket, the throws that he made, I mean, that was impressive. Now, he's got to do it again. You got to do it against better competition. But if he were to come out there and look like a 5th-round pick, everyone would have said, I told you so. So now you got 31 other teams who passed up on him. The Browns even passed up on him and picked Gabriel in front of him. We still got to see what Gabriel looks like. I'm sure he's going to be okay. But that was a heck of a debut for Shedeur Sanders. I'm happy for him. Now build off of that and keep the good times rolling.
Did you guys, speaking of just more notes to come from the weekend preseason games, I have zero expectations for the Saints this year, but that Tyler Shuck's first pass was like this deep touchdown pass.
His first pass?
Yeah,
I think that was after he threw a pick 6. Okay. And then he came back. You talking about that deep one?
Yeah, because I had heard nothing but I shouldn't say nothing but bad things. There had been a lot of negative coming out of the Saints quarterback situation. Not a ton of excitement about Shuck, but
he played all right.
Yeah,
he looked good.
Dart looked good. There's just some preseason could be fun, man.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the more fun preseasons because of the stories, right? You got Shedeur over there with 25 quarterbacks competing for one spot. You got Shuck, who no one expect anything from, bounce back from a pick 6 and drop a bomb. Jackson Dart looked like he's going to start midseason, Stacy. He looking good, so get them donuts ready. There's a lot to talk about. Cam Ward looked good. He was on point. That was it was a fun weekend.
You know how they have magic numbers for the playoffs or whatever? I'm going to have that for the Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson tracker, where it's going to be Russell Wilson not even playing, but then I'm going to be like, well, I mean, he's got 5 games left in the season technically. If he throws for 400 yards a game, you really never know.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Matthew Stafford was in street clothes during Rams practice today. He was expected to return to throwing today. What's the real headline?
Oh, look, a man put something off for later.
I'll do it later. I'll get to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what Matthew Stafford did. Wow, the first time ever a man said he'd do something and didn't.
It's like when there's a hole in the wall and you replace the drywall, you don't paint over it, you don't texture it, it's just drywall there for like a year. That's what this feels like.
That's exactly what this was. This was people saying, Matthew Stafford, I thought you were going to throw Monday. And he was like, the game's on. Can you give me 15 minutes? Just give me 15 minutes here. I'm relaxing.
Me and Curtis were talking about it. It's like when we get home and it's like the kids are on you. The wife is on you. You're like, listen, I just got home. And then the worst part is because I talk for a living. I don't want to talk when I get home. Give me like 10, 15 minutes to sit in silence. No one talk to me. This is what this feels like.
But see, Matthew, if you said that you would do it Monday, why aren't you doing it Monday?
Look,
you know
it's
what
Monday.
I mean? No one was asking you Sunday to
Yeah.
throw. No one was asking you on Sunday. You said that you would do it Monday.
You know? I'll get to it.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, the first AP poll of the college football season was released today. The top 5 is Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia. Oregon at number 7. Well, the Huskies and Cougs did not receive a vote. What's the real headline?
As a Husky, can I ask that we share a vote with another school?
There you go.
Maybe if there's one where
And then
we
claim
can
it as your own.
have half of a vote.
And then claim
Maybe
it.
hang on to it.
Split it, share it, talk about it for 35, 40
we
years.
deserved it too.
And hang and
We deserved it too.
And put a banner in the stadium.
Where's yours?
In the 50s. We got one.
Okay, yeah.
In the 50s. In the 50s.
Okay.
Hey, we just had the number 1 pick in the draft, all right?
Well, that was another share with Miami.
That's another thing you're sharing.
This is what we do with Miami.
I don't know about that one.
We just share with
The
Miami.
Huskies and Cougs claiming stuff that Miami actually did.
That's exactly right.
Preseason rankings are dumb.
Are they, though? Because I think they're 1,000% right about some of these schools.
Yeah, but I just give it like 3 weeks because you could be absolutely right about some and you're going to be absolutely wrong about a lot more. So I respect them. I just don't like them. Play 3 games and let's go from there.
Texas comes in at number 1, followed by Penn State, Ohio State. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if there's one on here. Obviously, Curtis mentioned Oregon gets a vote coming in at number 7. I mean, when you're looking at the list, is there one, speaking of preseason rankings, where you're like, I think they're going to be wrong about this? Because I don't know, man. When I'm looking at it, I'm like, these are all pretty dominant programs. They may, like, it may be something where it's like, oh, Clemson comes in at 4, maybe they slip to 6.
Here's what I'm concerned about. I'm actually calling the Arizona State game week 1. Holla at your boy. Arizona State, I think that they had a magical year last year. It's just so
and are missing
hard.
Some big weapons now.
Yeah, it's just so hard to duplicate what they did. I know my guy Paul Moyer has been big when it comes to helping fundraise for NIL and all that good stuff. You got to have money to pay these players. I'm interested. Can they run it back? Schools like Arizona State typically don't kind of have a down year the next year. We'll see what happens there.
You know who has no faith in Arizona State at number 11?
That's right.
Curtis Rogers.
Fair down. Yeah, they don't got Cam Scatterbo anymore.
Scum devil.
That's a lot to replace.
Let's see. Everything else.
Boise State
here.
at 25. I mean, Genty had a great
That's
year.
what I'm
What's
saying.
that going to look like?
But Boise State is always kind of like that borderline. They've had a lot of different groups that have put them there where it's like, oh, Boise State, they should be represented. They should be higher. And then once they play real
I'll be very
competition,
interested to
they struggle.
see how.
But yes, I agree with you.
I'll be very interested to see how Tennessee does in comparison to UCLA because you had the whole Nico Iamaleava situation. Tennessee's at number 24 in the AP poll. UCLA unranked. If Tennessee finishes with a better record than UCLA, that whole fan base is just going to be laughing at UCLA.
There's a lot of really fascinating schools on here that have, I mean, you mentioned Cam Ward obviously going at number 1, Miami in at 10 here. There's a lot of schools where you're looking at them going, well, who are they without this player? You're absolutely right. Genty is one of those for Boise State at 25. If Boise State drops from 25 to out of it, you're not really panicked. But, like, I'm curious to see. Bama will be part of the conversation all year long. It's Bama. What does Bama look like with its Grubb back with DeBoer, right?
Yeah.
Curious to see what that looks like.
It'll be fun to watch.
He's a great college play caller.
It's going to be fun, man.
Lots of weapons.
Grubb knows what he's doing at that level.
I will let you know that Fred and Birch Bay said, I know about raising the roof.
My bad, Fred. I just, Fred.
You tried to use Fred
Fred's
as your
the big homie.
scapegoat.
He's the big homie. Always got to go to the big homie for some information.
Some surprises in Mike Sando's newest quarterback tiers. Sam Darnold gets some credit and lands next to 2 surprising names. That's next.
With preseason game 1 in the books,
Here's Milroe rolling out to the right side and throws a dart.
the work continues going into the final week of training camp. Whose stock is on the rise?
Jalen played well.
Who's on the bubble?
You know, Oots can run for a 270-pounder.
Nobody has the Seahawks covered like Seattle Sports.
You felt the line of scrimmage. You felt the physicality.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
On 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Ready to elevate your everyday? Quince has the luxe staples insiders swear by, minus the markup. From 100% European linen styles and 14-karat gold jewelry to gorgeous leather bags and elevated home finds, Quince has it all. And by partnering directly with top artisans and ethical factories, Quince delivers premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. Discover everyday luxury without the markup at Quince. Go to quince.com/style upgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/style upgrade.
You gotta love football season, but when it comes to your windows and doors, you don't want any fumbles. Steve Rabel here, reminding you to trust locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their selection of windows and doors can't be beat, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Top Fitness Stores, the Puget Sound's premier fitness equipment store, is having a summer sale. Right now, they're offering the Inspire FT2 functional trainer at $2,000 off. Check out Precore's new 500 series treadmills and ellipticals. They're also offering the Inspire T5 fold-up treadmill at $500 off. Do you have an empty room in your house? Give Top Fitness your room dimensions, and they'll do a complete fitness room design. Top Fitness also has the flooring to complete the fitness space you dream of. As always, get the best advice and service from the team of experts at Top Fitness with professional delivery and assembly. It's no secret that everyone from personal trainers to professional athletes loves Top Fitness. From simple items like weights and accessories to complete home gym packages. Check out the summer event now. Top Fitness has locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
At 65 years old, Brian has a rather demanding hobby.
My biggest passion is snow skiing, and I ski between 70 and 80 days per year. And I ski instruct at a private resort in Montana.
Needless to say, that can be a bit tough on the joints.
When this knee started to bother me, I thought I'm doomed.
That's when Brian decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
If I did yard work or skied a few days in a row, I was fighting swelling and pain and no sleep and all sorts of problems, and that has absolutely gone away.
So are you back on the slopes?
I mean, I had a 14-day stretch with clients where I skied every day and I had no problem. It was fine. It was just like, I felt like new.
So I'm guessing you would recommend this to others.
Oh, I already have. I've told everyone that'll listen.
Whether it's a shoulder, hip, or knee, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
It's really, truly a miracle.
from the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Pardon My Take does their Mount Rushmore of things, and it's always really funny, and they have their Mount Rushmore of things we're excited to do when we're old. Team 2, I think, is the winner, but one of the ones on there is light shoplifting. And I turned to Bump, you guys, and I said, oh, how funny, light shoplifting. And Bump said, he shoplifted the other day.
On accident.
No.
It was an accident.
Sir.
It was an accident.
Was it?
I had my oat milk at the bottom of the cart, and, I did the self-checkout.
Wow.
Boom, 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 boom. And it didn't beep when I walked through the little sensors, and I got to the cart. I was like, I did not scan the milk. But I'm not going back in because I spent a lot of money at this establishment. And I'm taking this milk.
I think what's so crazy to me is that you realize that you stole, that you shoplifted when it was still possible to right a wrong, to undo a crime.
Nah, once you get to the car, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm not going back in there.
I hope that every time you drink that oat milk, you feel guilty.
I feel great. I'm like, I got one. I got one on them.
Next time they're watching, they're like, there's that guy that always steals oat milk. He's here again with more oat milk. He's going to pay for it this time. Mike Sando has his quarterback tiers. He does this every single year for The Athletic. And it is a great debate, a great conversation every single time. If you guys remember, a couple years ago, he had Geno Smith in like the last tier by himself as like a horrible quarterback situation for Seattle. And then Geno ends up having a great year. And I think Mike Sando apologized.
Somebody new down there now, too, though.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's always really fun. So he has his newest out in The Athletic and the New York Times. He has a couple changes that we'll talk about, but we're going to start with exactly where Sam Darnold is. Sam Darnold is up one whole tier from 2024 thanks to a phenomenal 2024 season. He, in fact, improved the most spots. So even though he's in tier 3, if you want to complain about it, don't, because he made the single biggest leap of any quarterback in the rankings, and he's right next to Bo Nix and one spot behind Geno Smith.
Yeah, I think he's in the proper tier. I mean, if you look at that tier, you got Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Geno, Bo Nix, Sam, Drake May, Caleb, Bryce Young, Kirk Cousins. I think that's the perfect spot for my guy. And if he can put together the same type of season he had last year, I don't even think he'll bump into the next tier. I think he's maxed out. I think that is the quarterback that Sam Darnold really is.
Yeah.
Could you see him in a tier with Jaden Daniels, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, C.J. Stroud, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield, Dak Prescott, Jordan Love, and Brock Purdy? I think Brock Purdy barely got up in that thing too. But no, I think that's perfect because you can still win being in that tier. Granted, we haven't seen anybody really win. Kirk Cousins is probably the most successful quarterback in the tier that he's in, but you're lumped in with a bunch of young guys, a bunch of potential. But no, I'm perfectly fine with this.
Yeah, this is a tier. So you mentioned, like, we haven't really seen it. This would be like if the Denver Broncos defense ended up being, let's say, the best in the league and they get really deep in the playoffs, it would be that kind of situation. So tier 3 is a guy where it's like the pieces around him are great. So a legitimate starter, but only when he has a great run game or a great defense and he's not asked to pass the ball too much. And that's the kind of guy. So Kyler Murray, Aaron Rodgers, too. A Bump already mentioned a couple of those names. Again, I second you. I'm okay with him being here. Do you want to go up or down from here? Sometimes going back is interesting.
All right, let's go back
to tier 4. Leading off tier 4, these are quarterbacks who are unproven players or a veteran who ideally would not start all games. Russell Wilson in tier 4. What a fall. Justin Fields, Michael Penix Jr., J.J. McCarthy, Daniel Jones, Joe Flacco, Anthony Richardson, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, I think this is good, too. I think Michael Penix will make the jump up to the next tier. I really believe in what he's doing and the talent that they have over there. The most interesting one in this tier to me is J.J. McCarthy because you're set up over there. You got did Addison go down with an injury this past week? No, that was Rondale. Oh, okay. It wasn't Jordan Addison.
Who, he might be done for
I think
that
he's done.
Really
yeah, that sucked. But no, I think J.J. McCarthy is the most interesting one to me because they got rid of a quarterback who showed they can run that offense for the rookie that they invested in. And I think that was the right move for the Vikings. You want to play your quarterback that you drafted early, and I trust Kevin O'Connell. If he believes JJ has the tools to get it done, you go ahead and do it. But yeah, he has the most pressure in this tier. I think Michael Penix has the most potential in this tier, and I think that Spencer Rattler. So I read some New Orleans Saints articles and then listened to some of what's going on down there. According to them, Spencer Rattler has had a great training camp. And Shuck just kind of outshined him during that one game. So there's going to be a battle going on between Spencer Rattler and Shuck. So we'll see what happens there. But, yeah, it's for me, it's J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix are the most interesting ones in that tier.
Kenny Pickett's in the 5th tier by himself. I don't really care to spend too much time on that. Instead of going to tier 2, which is also interesting, I'm going to jump right up to tier 1 because outside of Kenny Pickett being in the 5th tier, it has the fewest names, just 5, and one of them is very interesting. Tier 1. Have you looked at it? Are you looking at it right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to have you guess. But so Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. Joe Burrow got his first ever all-unanimous vote for Tier 1. Matthew Stafford,
your boy,
the final quarterback in Tier 1, which I find to be interesting. Tier 1, don't forget, defined as a team wins because of him. He expertly handles pure passing situations, has no real holes in his game. I see the argument for Stafford, but isn't availability kind of a hole in your game? And it's not like Matthew Stafford is like elite Stafford. Sometimes he looks like God tier, and other times he doesn't. Whereas, like, I don't know, I think there's significantly fewer flaws with the games of the other 4 passers right now.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford is interesting. With only 20 touchdowns last year, missed some games, hasn't been available as of late. If I were to swap him with anybody in that second tier, I'm looking at, now I know I gave my boy Jordan Love some love, I think. At the end of this year, he has potential to be in that top tier. But the Jared Goff disrespect is getting crazy right now. I mean, Jared Goff had one of the best seasons in the NFL last year. Obviously fell short of getting to the Super Bowl or whatnot, but he's done it for a couple seasons now. But I think they also look at the talent that's around him, and they give them more the credit than actually him. The run game, tight ends, wideouts. If there's anyone I would switch, it'd probably be him. And also, Jaden Daniels is knocking on the door. He had a better season than Matthew Stafford last year. But I think that people are thinking, you got to prove it. Show me a game that you can get it done. That's why he's just outside that top tier.
You know what I'm kind of wondering is, like, so let's jump to tier 2. You mentioned a couple of those names. Like Jaden Daniels, you mentioned, leads off tier 2, and he has one of the best chances to jump up there. Justin Herbert, another one of those names. There's a couple names that I think could potentially, I don't want to say take a step back, but like Dak Prescott's in tier 2. Where does Dak Prescott go from here? Like, I don't think he becomes a tier 1 quarterback. Does he drop to tier 3 where all of a sudden this team, needs to rely on other pieces besides him?
Dak Prescott is the most interesting one in the sense that regular season numbers are crazy. We all know this. 30 years has been since the Cowboys have gotten to a conference championship game. And it's not necessarily because of him. There are things that have derailed them in the playoffs. It's defense, it's injuries or whatnot. But I think he has the most pressure on him. How many years do the Cowboys roll with Dak Prescott? And he keeps you in this weird place because he shows you the potential of this offense and this team during the regular season. And as everyone knows, you get to the playoffs and you just fall apart. Dak Prescott, I think, will hover in tier 2 for the next couple seasons.
Baker Mayfield is in tier 2. He is the only player in this tier outside of Jaden Daniels, who obviously wasn't there last year because it was his rookie season. He's the only player to have leapt up into this tier, and I think that's absolutely fitting. I think he gets overlooked a lot because the Buccaneers are a flawed team and because he's not a perfect passer, but I think that he did as much as you possibly could last year to prove yourself. And it's interesting, he and Sam Darnold had these phenomenal seasons. I also think that the placement of Darnold still in the 3rd tier and of Baker moving up to the 2nd is still fitting. I shouldn't say still in the 3rd. Darnold bumped up a ton of spots.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield, he's another prove-it type of guy as well. 40 touchdowns last year. That connection with Mike Evans is real. But again, I think that he's in the right tier as well because tier 1 is some other stuff. Tier 1 is bona fide superstar, Super Bowl champion, or potential to win a Super Bowl type of quarterback. If you look at the guys who are in tier 1, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Jackson, Stafford, minus Stafford, I think that everyone there has a potential to win a Super Bowl. I think the Rams could be in the mix. I think they have to have a season like last year to where things have to happen for them and you get rolling late in the season. There's potential there, but the other 4 you expect to be, man, they're all AFC quarterbacks too. Goodness gracious. You expect to at least be hovering around the conference championship. I just don't get that feel with Sam Darnold. Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford needs more help from his defense or whatnot. It's hard to get in tier 1. If anyone is the closest to getting to tier 1 is Jaden Daniels. I think they got it correct. And Jared Goff, I put in front of Justin Herbert.
A stat you won't believe about the Mariners, and it's good news. It's coming up next.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and all these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
Hey friends, Stacy here to tell you that Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of their great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles, plus huge discounts in their service and parts departments. What about those of you who want to sell a car? I've also got good news. Wayscar Ford's vehicle profit sharing plan is the best deal out there. They purchase your car and pay you up front. Then when they resell your old car, they share 50% of that profit with you. They've already paid back over $800,000 to customers. At Wayscar Ford, there are absolutely no games, no gimmicks, and no pressure, and that's backed up by a full 5-day or 500-mile, no questions asked return policy on absolutely every vehicle they sell. Change your mind for any reason, bring the car back for a full 100% refund. If you're like me, you want a good price, a low-key, no-pressure sales experience, and a full 5-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee. So Wayscar Ford in Auburn is the place to go. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package, or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
You're free now. Free to stream beyond your wildest dreams.
Rom-coms, slasher-coms, space operas.
Free to fill your feed with impossibly chunky chunkers.
Cats, corgis, babies on demand.
Free to make your smart devices do silly things.
Bowl of chips on the Robo-Vacuum.
Free to open a world of remote work and Gametopia.
Who's the boss now?
Free to be everything you imagine. That's how it feels to have Quantum Fiber Internet. Your world unleashed. Learn more at quantumfiber.com.
Limited availability, service in select locations only. The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
It's the World Fighting Championships at Emerald Queen Casino Event Center, Saturday night, October 25th. Experience the thrill and excitement of high-energy mixed martial arts. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Don't miss this amazing professional mixed martial arts event, the World Fighting Championships, October 25th at Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. 21 and older, need gambling help? Call 800-547-6133 or visit emeraldqueen.com.
Dave Wyman joined by Dr. Daniel Landis from Swedish CyberKnife. Dr. Landis, when treating prostate cancer, what can patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out. You essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Matt, I didn't tell you this, but earlier Curtis sent us an email from Fangraphs, and he wrote Fangraphs.
That is so embarrassing.
Dweeb. What a loser. Okay.
Yeah, like you guys have never messed anything up on the air.
Like you guys have never messed anything up on the air.
Well, we don't host a 2-hour show dedicated to the Mariners now, do we, Curtis?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd love to hear you host a 2-hour show dedicated to the Mariners, Matt.
I actually would. Matt, what would your intro be? Like, what would you be saying about the Mariners if it was like extra innings? Curtis couldn't make it, so Matt's hosting. It starts now. And then you just say,
I would say, hey, it's 7 o'clock at night. Go home, read a book.
Go home and read a book. It's still
nice
light out.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's nice out. Don't be listening to Mariners. This is boring.
Curtis, what did the Fangraphs thing that you found say?
Well, it said that the Mariners have the highest World Series odds of any American League team. End of sentence.
That's pretty good.
Full stop.
That's a pretty cool thing to find from Fangraphs. This is also, I know we began the show by saying, oh, wow, it's the most fun we've had watching a Mariners team. Wow, there's so much to love from this weekend and a lot to like and very little that we didn't like. But it's another thing when the feeling around the league, whether it's from analysts or actual statistics, is that this team has a really, 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 really good shot to make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's weird when you see it supported by some numbers, right? I don't know how Fangraphs comes up with these numbers, but I'm gonna trust their process more than Joe Schmo on East Lake talking crap. Okay, 52% chance to win a division, 42% chance to clinch a wild card, and 95% chance to make the playoffs. 10%. Did that go up from just an hour ago when I was looking at it earlier? I thought it was like 9%. 10% chance to win the World Series.
Can you imagine if on their day off, they're like, actually, we ran the numbers. We feel even better.
Recalculate this thing. Baltimore's not looking too good. You're going to win this series. Yeah, it's when I was in high school and college, what we would do or what I would do is that I would always look at the standings like they're going to change. You know what I mean? Like we're 8-2, and I just go look at the standings to see what everyone else is doing. On a Wednesday, on a Thursday, standings ain't changing, but I just like looking at it. I like doing that with the Mariners right now. I know what their lead is in the wild card. I know where they are in the division race, but I like looking at it because it's pleasing to the eye because our squad is actually doing something worth looking at. First time in my 3 years doing the show with you that I've done that because typically it's like I already know what's going on. They're like 10 games behind. They're not going to make the playoffs. So this is fun and this is refreshing. It is also scary at the same time. It's almost like when you first have success at something. When you've prepared for something, you're having success. You're like, oh, my God, I'm actually doing it. I'm actually having this type of success. That's the way I look at the Mariners right now. It's like they're actually doing it. They actually made a move at the trade deadline. They actually got 2 bats. They actually got a reliever. They're actually winning games. They won 7 games in a row. It's a scary place to be in because you've never been there before. Or at least I haven't been there before with this team. So, no, I appreciate Fangraphs and whatever their process was getting these numbers. I've stared at it about 3 or 4 times since we've been here, since about 8:30, 9 o'clock. but they still got to go out there and prove it.
The Mariners have the highest World Series odds of any AL team today, August 11th. Why? Here's Mark DeRosa on MLB Network.
You look around, they're the most complete team
best team in the American League.
I think so.
Over the Astros.
Like, they should feel that way.
Really?
They should feel that way. From a starting rotation, the depth of their lineup now, Arozarena on down, Naylor, Suarez, J-Rod, J.P. Crawford. Put up the boards of Cal Raleigh, please. You're getting a historic, and he might track down Judge here.
So Naylor and Suarez changed it that much because we didn't talk about this team
Sound like a hater right
now.
They were the two perfect backs that they needed.
Okay.
Right? You bring in Suarez, who has been there and endeared himself to the fan base and all the teammates. You saw them. Then you bring in edge personified in Josh Naylor. But what you also bring in is a guy, look at this, who knew he was going to steal bags? I don't know if this is coincidence or he's doing this on purpose, but he brings an edge and a quality of at-bat to that lineup that they sorely needed.
Also, to answer your question, so do Suarez and Naylor change the lineup, change this team that much? Yeah. I know Suarez isn't raking, but yes, this was not a team that was god-awful, bottom of the barrel, and then you added 2 bats. This was a team that had potential but was very flawed. And you tried your best to patch those holes, and you turned a group that had questions into a group with significantly fewer questions. And meanwhile, no matter what, you were going to get Miller back. No matter what, you were getting Robles coming back. No matter what, you still had Kirby and Logan healthy, who were hoping to kind of continue to improve. Like, it's not, what do you mean, so it helped them that much? Yeah, it did.
Yeah. But I also understand their surprise, too. Because the Mariners aren't a team
well, they haven't proven it.
That people talk about during the preseason.
Yeah.
They're not a team that comes in with a whole bunch of hype. They still got some things to do. I agree 100% with what you said. I also agree with how they view the team. Like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, they're in disbelief right now. A lot of fans here are in disbelief that all these moves actually went down and that they are performing. It's just a weird place, man. I mean, I haven't been as confident in the Mariners since I used to play World Series baseball on Sega Saturn. And
not since one of your best rosters.
Right. And it was Tino Martinez. You know what I mean? It was the lineup was stupid. I used to hit bombs all day. That's the last time I felt this way about this Mariners team. And I think across the country, people are starting to realize what was going on. It was almost like Cal Raleigh was like the appetizer. Like, listen, you should probably pay attention to what's going on over there. Then he gets into the home run derby and does his thing. Then moves are made at the trade deadline. And you went to this new restaurant and tried a new dish. And you're like, that's actually really good. You know, I might order this again. That's where people are with this team. And it makes complete sense to me.
Yeah, I think that it's a team that you should be really excited about. And I think that it's natural to add this asterisk of, oh, well, the rest of the American League isn't great. But context every year is always really important. Is this the most dominant, in theory, Mariners team we've ever seen? No. Certainly in the last, 20 years, sure. But, is it the most dominant American League team we've ever seen? Absolutely not. However, this is not a dominant American League. That context is hugely important. So if you're someone that very naturally, like I do many times, and like Bump is right now admitting to just kind of naturally having that instinct to go, but wait, like they haven't shown it. I think that it's that they can win with a team that they wouldn't have been able to win with.
Mm-hmm. It's not their fault.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not their fault. It's like when these
you can be flawed and win this.
These young quarterbacks are going out in preseason and balling, and people are like, "Oh, just calm down. It's preseason." I'm like, it's not their fault. They're supposed to go out there and ball. Okay, they're playing against 2s or 3s. They better go out there and ball. That's how it is with the Mariners right now. It's like, all right, is it my fault that the Yankees are garbage right now? Is it? No. You control what you can control.
Right, but am I enjoying it?
What you controlled is getting bats at the trade deadline,
Yep.
Cal going nuts, Julio heating up, Cole Young looking like the future second baseman for the next 5-6 years. You control what you can control. Don't worry about everybody else.
Okay, so we talked about them being the best team in the American League, or the case we think they have for being the best team in the American League. We talked about how we both feel about them having the highest World Series odds of any American League team right now, today, August 11th. Let's talk about how they actually get there. What needs to go right? What are some questions we have? What's really working and what might not be? Seattle Times reporter Adam Jude joins us next.
With preseason game 1 in the books.
Here's Milroe rolling out to the right side and throws a dart.
The work continues going into the final week of training camp. Whose stock is on the rise?
Jalen played well.
Who's on the bubble?
You know, Oots can run for a 270-pounder.
Nobody has the Seahawks covered like Seattle Sports.
You felt the line of scrimmage. You felt the physicality.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
On 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Top Fitness Stores, the Puget Sound's premier fitness equipment store, is having a summer sale. Right now, they're offering the Inspire FT2 functional trainer at $2,000 off. Check out Precore's new 500 series treadmills and ellipticals. They're also offering the Inspire T5 fold-up treadmill at $500 off. Do you have an empty room in your house? Give Top Fitness your room dimensions, and they'll do a complete fitness room design. Top Fitness also has the flooring to complete the fitness space you dream of. As always, get the best advice and service from the team of experts at Top Fitness with professional delivery and assembly. It's no secret that everyone from personal trainers to professional athletes loves Top Fitness. From simple items like weights and accessories to complete home gym packages. Check out the summer event now. Top Fitness has locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard. The smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Summer can be the best time of the year, but if it's not feeling good in your house, if it's turning into an oven, some of the problems might be because you don't have enough insulation in your crawl space or attic. In fact, many homes in our region have damaged insulation or even none at all. Yeah, it's Mike Salk here, and you got to get somebody to check on it. That's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and do a full corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic. And if it turns out that you've got a problem with your insulation, and maybe that's leading to bigger energy bills, guess what? Local utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of getting your house properly insulated. In fact, if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to get your attic properly insulated. Yep, 95%. Call Crawl Pros if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair.
Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners got their second series sweep in a row on Sunday, this time over the Rays. Cal Raleigh hit his third home run in as many games, his 45th of the season. Josh Naylor hit an RBI single from Dom Canzone in the 8th, gave Seattle a bit more insurance for a 6-3 win. They're going to have an off day today, extra innings coming your way, hosted by Curtis Rogers at 7 p.m.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. We just read you guys a chart from Fangraphs that has the Mariners with the highest World Series odds of any American League team on August 11th. And I know that feels really hard to believe, but we're going to talk about not just why that could be true, also what they need to do to actually get there. Joining us now, Seattle Times reporter Adam Jude to talk about the Mariners' keys to making the playoffs and, of course, take a look in on this team ahead of a East Coast road trip here. Adam, how's it going?
I'm doing great. Morning, Stacy. Morning, Bump. Thanks for having me.
We're happy to have you. I'm going to get started with a Cal question. On Friday, we had a couple guests join us, and this was prior to, obviously, the Friday game. And a question that we asked a couple different people is, hey, what are you seeing with Cal? He's in a slump. You know, what's working, what's not? Are you seeing some better ABs? And then he had 3 home runs in 3 games. And it's not that he suddenly turned on and was perfect, but you started seeing it pay off. Tell us a bit about what you saw from Cal specifically in this series.
Yeah, I think people were worried, right, coming off the All-Star break and the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby. He'd been asked to do a lot, obviously. What a moment for Cal and his family in the Derby, winning the Derby, kind of back in the Atlanta area where he's from. And it was really kind of his coming out party for America and for the baseball world to see. And so I think that was an obvious concern for the fan base. Just, you know, how would Cal sort of handle the attention, but just sort of, you know, didn't really get that break either, right? And he's playing the most, daunting position in baseball as well, too. So I think there was an feeling of like, all right, is Cal slowing down? Is he hitting his slump? And he had about a 10-game stretch there where, you know, he did slow down a little bit, at least numbers-wise, right? The results weren't there. He hadn't hit a home run in 8 games, which for him does look like a bit of a slump. For the rest of the baseball world is pretty normal. But I think when you looked at some of the underlying data, the hard hit rates and the metrics showed that he's basically was doing what he'd done all year, just getting a little unlucky with some of his hard hits. I remember, a couple balls really, but one specifically, I think it was in the White Sox series last week where it must have been, a line drive that was foul by just maybe a foot or so right at the right field foul pole. So it felt like it was there, felt like it was coming. And then this weekend, obviously it was Cal back to the first half Cal. And that was as big a home run as he's hit all year Friday night. That 8th inning, down 2-0, 2 guys on to come through in that moment against a really good reliever from the Rays and Griffin Jacks. Just what a moment for this team to really propel them into the Ichiro weekend and to really start the sweep this weekend. And I was thinking about it. I mean, this had to have been, the most exciting weekend the Mariners have had, not only in years, but in decades, really going back to maybe even 2001. Obviously, they had a special stretch there late in the 2022 season, highlighted by another Cal home run to really get them back to the postseason. But It just feels like everything's turning the Mariners' way right now. They've got the momentum. They've got the best lineup maybe in baseball right now. The pitching staff we're starting to see round into form. And if I'm the Mariner fan base here, I'm obviously feeling great about what they're not only doing right now, but what they can potentially do in October as well.
Hey, Adam, the athlete and coach in me is saying, yeah, you guys are doing good, but I want more. I got to keep seeing it to keep believing it. And what does more look like for them? Is it just Geno getting hot, or is there something else that you see?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously, Geno coming in, such an incredible homecoming for him, and I've said it before, but he was only here for 2 years in 2022 and 2023, but it felt like so much longer, didn't it? It felt like he was here for like a decade, the way the city embraced him and just how genuine of a character he is and how much he meant to the clubhouse. It's just in those 2 years. His battle come around. He had just an all-time heater for the Diamondbacks in the first half of this season. He's 34 years old. He's kind of regressing to the mean a little bit for what he's been historically in his career. That said, when you've got a lineup this deep, at some point he's going to run into another heater here. He's just too good. I think part of it, coming back, hitting at T-Mobile Park, he had a couple really long flyouts on this homestand too. Maybe he goes to Baltimore or the Met Stadium this upcoming road trip, and those balls fly a little bit better on the East Coast in the humidity as well. But I'm not worried about Geno. He's going to be fine here over the next 6 weeks and potentially longer for the Mariners. To me, again, I keep circling back to the pitching staff. The bullpen has been really good. The rotation has been solid. We know how good they can be. We saw Brian Wu yesterday, another quality start, but he's a guy for me. If you're looking in, if you're peeking ahead to October, and again, it's a dangerous gamble here a little bit if we're already starting to peek ahead. But I think this team is that good and they're positioned to do it. Brian Wu is probably your game one starter going into the playoffs at this point, and we know what he's capable of. And again, for him to not necessarily have his A stuff yesterday, and still kind of grind through and get through 6 and lead the team to the sweep again, kind of tells you a lot about where he's at. But for me, I kind of keep coming back to Logan Gilbert and George Kirby. If they can kind of be 90% of what they've been the past few years, if they can stay healthy, this team it ratchets it up to a whole nother level, and they're fully capable of chasing down the Astros and not only winning the division, but kind of running away comfortably, I feel like, in September and really getting greedy. Now's the time to get greedy and chase down one of those top 2 spots in the American League, which really sets you up for home field advantage, really get you that bye in the wild card series weekend. And again, you can set up your pitching staff the way you want that. And you get that bullpen, some rest. So, again, we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I think that's what they position themselves to do is get greedy, go after it, get one of those top 2 spots, and really try to position yourself for a run at the World Series.
Well, and sometimes getting ahead of yourself is a fun thing to do when you've got a team that's either a front runner or is really improving, and it's kind of fun to let yourself think like, well, how would this work with, this setup? I'm going to stick with pitching for my next question. It's just going to be a carryover of part of what you were already talking about. So I wanted to look at Logan and George in particular, because I agree with you. They're such an important part of that recipe. In fact, Adam, we had a texter who during the break said, oh my God, can you imagine this team if they had the 2024 pitching staff? And I thought they do. And obviously what this person was saying is if they were playing like that staff. So Adam, my question is, I've assumed through most of the year that, this was maybe not the best year for this staff because Logan was dealing with that elbow issue and, George had a late start and surely it'll iron itself out once they kind of get going. Do you see it as being, this is kind of things out of their control and they're just going to get into the swing of things? Or do you see it as like maybe a natural volatility to the position or that they're pitching a bit differently? Like, what are you seeing with these two in particular?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think it's a little bit of everything, right? When you miss as much time as George Kirby and Logan Gilbert did in the first half of the season, it's just going to take you some time. It's just not that easy to come right back in and feel like, all right, I'm back to my normal self. That said, they've been really good. They haven't been, again, the ace-like form we've seen in the past from them. It's in there, and I would suspect if they're feeling good, the weather's hot, your arm's usually feeling a little bit better. Yeah, they might be worn down a little bit this time of year, but you would have to think they're energized by just how good this team is. The energy in the clubhouse is at an all-time high. And George and Logan have been such a big part of this team the past few years. And, of course, they want to pitch in October. They want to pitch deep. You know, if this team has a chance to get to the World Series, of course they want to be two of those main guys, and they're fully capable of it. And, frankly, I fully expect them to be right there and a big part of it as well. You know, looking at Logan Gilbert, the biggest change for him this year, beyond obviously just his first real injury of his career, he is striking out more than any starting pitcher in baseball this year. He's striking out batters at a higher rate than anybody in baseball this year among starters, higher than Tarek Skubal, higher than Zach Wheeler, all the top guys in baseball. And to me, that's been a bit of a change for him, right? In the past, he's been more of a contact guy. Yeah, he's been a really good strikeout pitcher, but not at this elite level. So it's a weird thing to say, but it's almost like he needs to strike out fewer guys. It would seem like a little bit of a backwards thinking, but to me, he just needs to pitch to contact a little bit more, get some easy outs earlier in the game so he can get deeper in the game, right? That's what we saw from him a ton last year. He led all of baseball in innings pitched last year, and I think he wants to get back to that 6-inning, 7-inning guy that can get deep in games and give the bullpen a little bit of a break. He's been more of the 5-and-dive sort of guy here lately. And again, I think a big part of it is just because he's striking out dudes, and it takes more pitches to strike out guys. Hitters are fouling off a lot of pitches on him. And so to me, it's like, hey, you know, just throw a fastball on the outside corner. You're hoping for a ground out to J.P. Crawford, you know, early in the games. And I think that'll help Logan Gilbert kind of settle in a little bit more and get deeper into games as well. And so to me, that, you know, he's right there. It's just that guy that he was that true ace for the Mariners this year. He was the opening day starter for a reason. But I feel like if this team is going to make that huge run in September and chase down maybe even the top spot in the American League, I kind of circle back to Logan Gilbert as the guy, and I think he's pretty close.
Hey, we've been talking about just how down the AL is this year, and the Mariners need to take full advantage of this. But you know how this game goes, Adam. Man, a team gets hot, or maybe they're just slumping right now. Things aren't going for them. Is there a team other than the Astros that you see as like maybe the next biggest threat for these guys as the Mariners continue through the season?
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. To your point, like there's no one really scary in the American League right now. The Red Sox, they've got a bunch of young guys. Roman Anthony just signed that big contract, number one prospect in baseball. Now one of the just top hitters too. And so I think the Red Sox, they've got a bona fide ace in Garrett Crochet. What a great trade for them. They've been really hot here lately too in jockeying for position with the Mariners with that number one wild card spot. But again, I think both teams are getting greedy and should get greedy. I think the Blue Jays are there to be had in the AL East, and the Mariners are trying to track down the Astros in the AL West. I think the Blue Jays do have a really well-rounded team. You know, they have a really good lineup, really good pitching, solid bullpen. I still think, you know, in a lot of ways, the American League kind of probably has to go through Toronto. Detroit was the best American League team in the first half of the season. Again, they've got probably the best pitcher in baseball in Seattle U product, Tarek Skubal. So again, there's some really good teams. I don't know if there's any great team in the American League where you're going, we got to avoid them come October. And that's kind of the beauty of it for the Mariners. Maybe they end up being that team by the end of September going, we don't want to face that lineup or that pitching staff. And so, you know, that's a great spot to be. Obviously, if you're the Mariners, it's sort of unfamiliar familiar territory if you're the Mariners too. And what a great feeling with the moves this front office made at the trade deadline to bring in, we haven't even mentioned Josh Naylor's name yet. And second half, Julio is coming alive. He's got an OPS over 1,000 over the last month. And so what a great problem to have if you're the Mariners, like too many good hitters, too many good players now with Luke Raley probably coming back in the next few days. You know, what does that look like as the roster shakes out? And some roster moves out on the bench here too. I think the Mariners do have a tough decision or two to make here. Victor Robles potentially coming back by the end of the month, way earlier than I think a lot of us expected. So all signs are pointing up for the Mariners, and what a good feeling it has to be for those guys.
They're going to open up this road trip with a series against Baltimore, who's dropped 3 consecutive series, including one recently against the A's. You never want to look past a team, but I do want to, for the purposes of this road trip, look at all 3 opponents here, because then they're taking on the Mets and the Phillies. We know that both of those teams have a ton of slug, but have also at times run into trouble this year. What maybe is one particular thing you're watching for this team, or one thing you're tracking?
Yeah, just can they carry it over on the road, right? It's such a great homestand. Shoot, one of the best homestands they've ever had, 9-1, and just with Ichiro and just all the good vibes, all the positive energy and momentum. Can they now go on the East Coast? Pretty daunting. Again, it's the climate's going to be different. It's going to be humid. It's going to be hot. Can they keep this energy up when the crowd isn't behind them like they've been for the past 10 days? I think they can, but again, it's just different, right? When you're leading off a game, when you're not, don't have a chance to bat in the bottom of the ninth, it is a little bit of a disadvantage being on the road. And so you kind of want to try to score early. I know Dan Wilson manages games a little bit differently on the road. He might pull a starter a little bit earlier. You might get a little more aggressive. You might sack bunt in a different situation. And so, you want to try to put the pressure on the home team early. And so can they get that long ball going early like they did in the homestand? And again, Baltimore's really struggled this year. Their pitching hasn't been there in particular. So can they jump on these guys early, force them to get in the bullpen earlier in games and take care of business? You're just looking to win series when you get on the road, right? Can you take 2 or 3? And then you go into that Philly series against one of the better teams in baseball. Certainly, I think the Phillies are right there as one of the favorites in the National League, maybe the favorite in the National League with the pitching staff that they have. And so I'll be joining the team in Philly next week. My first trip there to see the Mariners and Philly. So looking forward to that one. And to me, that's going to be a really good litmus test just to really see how good this lineup is, how deep this lineup is facing one of the best rotations in baseball.
Awesome. You enjoy that trip to Philly. We'll keep our eyes peeled on Seattle Times for your coverage. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Again, Seattle Times Mariners reporter Adam Jude, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what's an overreaction you have after this weekend?
I'm overreacting.
We know because you're stealing.
But I don't care. What does that have to do with overreacting? And I didn't do it on purpose.
I just can't get
it was
over
an accident.
It being oat milk is what it is.
Oat milk.
Matt, did you see someone called him the non-dairy delinquent?
That's incredible. Bumps new nickname.
Why you always messing up my 4 downs, man?
Sorry.
All right? I don't be messing up your headline rewrites.
I'm sorry. Okay.
What was it? Can we start over?
Yes. First down. What's an overreaction you have after this weekend?
Overreaction is that the quarterback class of 2025 was better than what people think. I think that we look at the 2024 class, and I think that class is going to be legendary. I really do. I believe that. I think they're going to be the next generation to kind of get us through the next 10 to 12 years. But, man, Dart looked good, 12-19, 154, 1 touchdown. Shuck looked good, 15-22, 165, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Sanders looked good, 14-23, 138, 2 touchdowns. And Cam looked good. He was only 5 for 8 for 67, but his throws were on point. Yes, they were against 2s and 3s. Yes, it was preseason. Most of these guys aren't going to be on football teams when it comes down to September. But so what? They look better than I thought. You still got to go out there and play the ball game. Dart was swaggy. Dart knew where he was going with the football. Shuck bounced back from a horrible, horrible pick 6. Defender in the flat, he's throwing a hedge. It was clear as day. I wouldn't have even thrown that football. And Sanders just doubted or silenced all the doubters. And I'm so happy for him, but you got to go out there and prove it. And Cam just looked like the #1 pick of this year. Who knows where they go from here? But I wasn't expecting the weekend that I saw from these young quarterbacks, and it got me excited a little bit. Now we got to see what they do week 2. But, yeah, I'm overreacting. They are better than what people thought. They're better than what I thought. And I think out of this whole thing, we know Shuck is going to be a starter. I think Sanders has the potential to be the starter. I still believe they're going to start Joe Flacco first. Cam's going to be the starter. And your boy Dart, week 6, 7, will be the guy for the football Giants.
Second down. What position played well for the Hawks last week?
Man, we talked about Drew Lock, how he bounced back. We talked about Milroe. Horton was probably the star of this thing, him and Helani. Defensively, Job had an interception, so did Pritchett. But that offensive line played well. I know these aren't the guys. This isn't the group that's going to be out there. We did see Abe Lucas and Grace Abel for a little bit. But throughout that whole game, no matter who was in, they allowed 1 sack and only 2 quarterback hits. there are a couple things that can contribute to that. Just the way the game was called, you hand the football off, you play action, it's hard to get to the quarterback. But you also got to tip your cap to the offensive linemen. They got no love. I've heard no one talk about these offensive linemen because we realized that Oluwatimi wasn't in there, Charles Cross wasn't in there, and, they would rotate some guys in. But Sando played. We'll see if he gets some playing time. And Avon Grace-Abel, like I mentioned, got out there. Big ups to the offensive line. The scheme allows for it, though. Even though Sam Darnold was one of the most sacked quarterbacks last year, I think the way that Kubiak called this game, relying on the run, play action, short concepts. We didn't really see too many balls go down the field. Derek Young had like a 30-yard reception, I believe, and then Horton had a big one. I want to say Arroyo had one that was like 8 to 10 yards as well, but we didn't see him just sit back, pat the football, and try to take the top off the defense. The play calling helped, but big ups to the offensive line. No one has mentioned them throughout the week. I want to show them some love. 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits. That's a good day.
Third down. Who needs to have a big week 2 of the preseason? I almost said I can't believe it's already here, but it's Monday. It's Monday.
It's Monday. Got Friday.
Yeah.
Damian Martinez, he got to play. I mean, Helani had himself a good game. Helani had 7 carries, and Damian Martinez had 6, and Helani just outperformed. It could be the combination with the offensive line or whatnot. Again, we don't know the bodies that are in there, but this is what preseason is all about. You're competing. Yes, you're on the same team. Yes, you want your buddy to have some success, but you're competing for that number 3 spot. Job and Pritchard need to have another good week because Shaq Griffin is back, and he's probably going to get some reps this week. He's going to apply some pressure. Nothing's guaranteed. It's not like it's Shaq Griffin's position to lose, but it kind of is because he's the veteran. These guys got to come out and have another good week. And then all receivers not named Horton who are not starting need to have a good week.
Yeah.
Again, this is what preseason is all about. It's about that competition. And we know they got a bunch of receivers in that room right now. 3, 6, 9, 11 receivers there. Plumlee needs to have a day. Cody White dropped the football. Dropped 2 footballs. He needs to have a day. Sims, if he's healthy, he needs to have a day. Jake Bobo had 2 receptions. He needs to have a day, and so does Ricky White III. Jackson Smith and Jigma and Cooper Kupp, they're good to go. But yeah, Horton showed that he can be versatile. He was good in the punt return game, had one of the most exciting 8-yard returns I've ever seen. Nice little spin move, made a couple guys miss and got upfield. You can see that he's comfortable with his route running. He's great at the top of his routes. Had one miscommunication with Drew Lock. Drew Lock was expecting him to break out. He goes up the field. Drew Lock said it was my bad, so who knows? That's Drew Lock being a great leader if it wasn't his bad. But every receiver not named Torrey Horton needs to have themselves a day. And Damian Martinez, you got to go get it this week. This is what it's all about, competition. Go get it because Helani looked really good last week.
4th down. Again, Seahawks taking on the Chiefs on Friday the 15th. Who do you want to see get more playing time?
Drew Lock needs to play 1 quarter, and the rest needs to go to Jalen Milroe. Like, we know what Drew Lock is. There's no secret about what he can and can't do. We got a profile on him. He's shown that he can play in this league. He's going to be a solid backup. Mentally, he's in a great place. We interviewed him a couple weeks ago, or was that last week? He's in a great place. He's good. We need to see more Jalen Milroe because I've heard mixed reviews about Jalen Milroe. Some people are saying, oh, he didn't look that great. I don't agree. I don't think he looked outstanding. I don't think he looked horrible. I think he showed that he's mobile. He can run the football. And he also showed that he can be on time with a couple of throws. So if I am Kubiak, I am Coach Macdonald, I'm letting Jalen Milroe have the bulk of the snaps this game. 2nd quarter on, it needs to be the Jalen Milroe show, and let's see what he can do. Because it's almost easy to come in the 3rd or 4th quarter. Things have already been established. No one's really expecting much of you. But now, since you sprinkled in a little bit of your talent and shown what you can do, let's see it again. So I want to see Jalen Milroe quarters 2, 3, and 4.
I just Googled Chiefs starters to week 2. I don't know, just to see if there was anything that had been written yet about whether or not they'd play, because I know that they had a few starters play week 1. I'm going to throw Sam Darnold on that list too, of like, I think it should be the bulk of it Milroe. You're right, so we get a better look at him. Maybe it's from the quarterback tiers conversation. Maybe it's an entire offseason of talking about, well, what's Sam Darnold going to look like? He's the biggest question. I even just want to see just one drive.
Yeah, you can take one.
Just one.
One, hand it off to Drew, and then let Milroe run.
See what it looks like. The thing is, while I'd like to see Sam, we're not going to get those questions answered. Whereas we can have some cool questions answered for Milroe.
No, it's going to be Sam Darnold's going to have like the Geno Smith.
Right.
Like last game.
Single
one
appearance.
Series. Okay, let's get ready for the season. There's nothing Drew Lock and Milroe can do to take that spot.
No.
Nothing. So yeah, I'm with a drive. Yeah.
Just just the one.
It's a little sprinkle.
Imagine that he's out there and he hands it off. It's just like 3 handoffs and that's it. All right, our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Geno Smith threw up the double bird to a Seahawks fan last week. Hear what Pete Carroll had to say about it next.
Lyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man. How many did you have in your career? 3. How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands. Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
I have a handful of stories that really affected me personally in my career and how I handled employees. Lee Johnson, coming out of his office as a customer, asked me where the service department is. And I was like, yeah, go to the end of the hall, go up the stairs, go across the breezeway, open a door, go to the left. You want Chevy, go to the right. You want Mazda? Because I didn't even have enough time to say, hey, what kind of car do you have? Here comes Lee, and it's like, oh, man, come with me. Let me show you. And then have him come back and not dress me down. It's just almost like with that fatherly disappointment of like, hey, that's not how we take care of people. I mean, the right way is to walk her down to the stairs, walk her up the stairs, open the door for her, go over, cross the way, open up that door, introduce her to somebody. So she's comfortable, she's made it to the right place, and that we value the business. What you did was you made it seem like she was an inconvenience to you. Customers are the purpose of our day.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot.
We at 3 Tree Roofing understand that your home is your castle. That's why our certified technicians use state-of-the-art installation methods to deliver the highest warranties available. Check out our hundreds of online reviews and schedule a free estimate to see for yourself. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service, 98 years providing logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linens, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. Visit suplinen.com.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
You gotta love football season, but when it comes to your windows and doors, you don't want any fumbles. Steve Rabel here, reminding you to trust locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their selection of windows and doors can't be beat, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package, or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
Between his hobbies and decades of work in a boatyard, Philip had put his body through a lot.
I'm an avid fly fisherman and an avid skier. It takes its toll.
Not to mention one other thing.
I had a near-fatal motorcycle accident. Absolutely obliterated my lower left leg again.
Philip couldn't live with the pain anymore, so he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Listening to all these radio spots, I said, what do I got to lose?
What was your experience like with Dr. Wagner?
What I was so impressed with Mark about is that how often you have a surgery like this, and the guy calls you the next day to see how you're doing. I can't say enough good things about the guy, honestly.
And how are you feeling now?
I have no pain, none. Zero.
Wow. So would you recommend stem cell therapy to others?
I'm a fan, believe me. I'd recommend it to anybody.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
If you guys missed it from the Seahawks preseason opener, Geno Smith running onto the field threw up the double birds to, I'm going to say, a Seahawk fan. This isn't our first story. Our first story is Pete Carroll's response to it, but it made the rounds. Dov Kleiman, that one NFL account that no one really knows who he is.
He's a fake person.
He's a fake person. Like, I don't even think he's real. Posted it with saying fans, plural, were like holding up signs, and then Geno, like, just the whole thing was then misrepresented. There was one fan holding a sign. He's a known troll. He was holding up the sign, which I didn't think was a very good joke. I love a good burn, but it wasn't a very good joke.
Wasn't even good.
It wasn't a very good one. But that's okay. We can workshop it. And Geno threw him the double bird. So that's what happened.
Well, the sign said, who's a bigger bust, Geno or Jamarcus
Geno Smith
Russell?
or Jamarcus Russell, which doesn't even make sense.
Geno's still in the league.
Jamarcus was the Raiders' #1 overall pick and was a bust. Geno wasn't a pick by the Raiders. Whatever.
Yeah.
I digress. So Pete Carroll was asked about Geno flipping off that Seahawks fan.
Geno Smith was seen at the Seahawks game making an obscene gesture, like at a fan with a sign.
Did you see what the sign said?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
Next question.
I love Pete, man. I really do. He is for his guys.
Pete is like, look, I'm going to talk to Geno on the side, but I'm not going to give y'all nothing right now. That man disrespected Geno, and I'm sure Pete Carroll has a relationship with Geno. He can be like, Geno, come on, man.
Yeah.
You can't do that. But publicly, he's going to go out there and say, you know what? It's like when couples are having a dispute with someone else. In public, I'm going to support my girl no matter what. When we get in the car, I'm going to be like, hey, you was tripping, though. You was tripping.
Can I just say
but I got your back.
That's like the fundamental rule. I believe that should apply to almost anything. Friendships, relationships, coaches and players, coaches and other coaches. Like, publicly, you should always be like, there's no point in embarrassing someone publicly. And even if you're like, let's say you're a coach and you want to be like, I talked to him about it. Next question. Like, what do you think you're going to get brownie points for insulting someone in front of someone else?
There's a rule that I grew up with my mom, my grandma, my aunt, my 2 cousins, my grandpa, my uncle. I had a small immediate family. Family business, stay in the house.
That's right.
You don't go out on the streets and talk about anything. My grandma could be dead wrong. She is perfect in public, okay? my cousins could be dead wrong. They are perfect in public. You don't put your business out there like that. That's what Pete's doing.
College football season must be close because Paul Feinbaum is taking shots at the Big Ten despite them winning the last 2 national championships.
The last question that I have for you, and it's really just to have it on record.
who's going to win the national championship, and is it going to be an SEC team?
It is. And by the way, if it's not, I'm leaving the country because I am so sick and tired of being harassed by Big Ten fans on our show. The Big Ten has literally done nothing. They won 2 national championships. Michigan won 1 2 years ago. They've won 1.5 national championships, I think, before that in 70 years, and they act like they invented football. Alabama has won about 15 national championships in my lifetime. Now, I realize that's not a good comparison to a realistic lifespan, but I believe Texas is going to win. I didn't mean to avoid your question. It's going to end all this, and on January 20th, I'll be the happiest man in America because I won't have to listen to the Big Teners, or as my callers call them, the Little Teners.
Big Ten fans act like they invented football, these dumb Rutgers fans. Who wants to tell them?
You tell him, Curtis.
Who wants to tell him?
Curtis,
Curtis, you want to tell him?
Well, the first college football game in 1869, I know it was a long time ago, so it's easy to forget about, involved one Rutgers University.
They did, Paul.
Wow.
They did. I love someone who doesn't hide his fandom, and I can respect Paul Feinbaum for, even though I make fun of him, like there is like a weird appreciation that I have for him being like so, you know what I mean, so in your face with how much of an SEC homer he is, but he just being like, what has the Big Ten done? Nothing. I mean, yeah, they won 2 national championships most recently, but they've done nothing.
They've done absolutely nothing.
What are you talking about?
I think.
What are you talking about, Paul?
Here's the thing, though. It's important for his brand that he stays on point with the SEC love. Because the SEC, those fans will support Paul until the death. That's just who they are. And he's not wrong. The SEC dominated college football for a long time.
Yeah, but he's pointing to Texas now, being like, and now they're going to get it, recently to the SEC. You kind of stole that one.
Yeah, but it's still facts.
Sure.
He's still spitting facts. We just don't like it because when it comes to like real, true analysis, you got to be able to step out of your alliances and give real analysis. And sometimes his comments are so jaded. I'm just like, come on, man. Like when I'm covering a Wazoo game and I'm calling that game, I cannot cheer for Wazoo. I got to say exactly what I see, where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are. I just don't see him being capable of doing that, but I also think him not doing that has made him a lot of money. So what he's not going to do is switch now.
Yeah.
He's going to be SEC to the death, but give Big Ten some love. They were the best conference last year.
To his point, it probably will be Texas.
It probably will.
So it probably will.
It probably will. But you're right. They stole them.
It should. It shouldn't be. Next up, sure, it's only the preseason, but how impressed were you by Jags kicker Cam Little making a not-so-little 70-yard field goal?
Holy smokes. They got a shot.
He just kicked a 70-yard field goal. Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
I've never seen that. The NFL record.
For context, a 70-yarder would beat the current NFL record by 4 yards. That one set by Justin Tucker, 66 yards back in 2021. Unfortunately, since it was a preseason game, it won't be listed in the record books.
Man, that's wild. I feel like it should be listed. I understand why it's not, because it's not considered a real it's an official game, but it's preseason. But 70 yards. 70 yards is 70 yards. You can do that at a high school right now. You're going to respect 70 yards.
Even kicker hater Michael Bumpus
really good point,
is
Curtis.
respecting Cam Little's 70. It takes a 70-yard field goal
Are you
for
a Cam
Bump
Little
to
stan?
respect a kicker.
That's what it takes.
Before he even looks their way.
I actually have a burner account supporting kickers. Just want to let you guys know that. Okay. No, I respect what they do. I can't do it. Kick that thing 70 yards. I respect it.
Well, he did it outside, too. Like, Tucker's record was set in a dome. It was in Detroit when he did that. So you don't have the wind going against you.
You know what I'll say about that, too? While I understand that preseason records don't stand because, in part, the context around many of those records being set is like, oh, yeah, this guy threw a 60-yard touchdown pass to whatever against third stringers. Like, it's just so hard. There's so much you don't control, whatever. You can't, like, Curtis, you said it earlier, where, like, it's just air. You're just kicking the ball. There's nothing about what you do in the preseason game, kicking a 70-yard field goal, that would be different than a regular season game, whereas in a preseason game, maybe you're going against third stringers that aren't going to make it.
Here's this, though. Steve Largent, one of the greatest receivers of all time. He caught a lot of footballs against backups during the lockout, and we still count that. I mean, it's almost the same thing.
Yes.
You're not playing against the real guys, the guys who are going to be on the team.
time, that was
But
the
an
top
abstract
competition.
thing. Yes, but an
hold
abstract thing
on.
that wouldn't be normal.
They were grabbing Bobby Joe and
Right,
Jan
because
off
the guys
block.
in the Players Association that didn't cross the picket line weren't eligible to play.
And Bobby Joe worked hard.
You're still playing against third stringers. I think that's the whole premise of the conversation is that you're playing against guys who probably aren't going to be in the league.
I think in that point, it's kind of like if you had you dropped a liquid into a bigger pool of liquid. What do you do? Like reach in and take that out? Like you can't extract it at that point. You can't make it to where that year stats don't count. Whereas you can take the preseason.
I'm not saying they shouldn't count.
I hear
I'm
you.
not saying Steve Largent is the man. I'm not taking back none of that.
What you're saying is if that's the case you're going to make against the preseason, well, you can make that case against this example of a regular season, which I hear you.
Count the 70-yarder, man.
I think it's just.
Count it.
I think you should be able to count. Maybe you can't add it to like someone's whole. I don't even know why you wouldn't count it. Like I get it. I get the argument, but you can't. If he did it in the preseason, all of those situations, that entire environment would exist exactly as it is in the regular season.
Yeah. I don't know. I understand why they don't. I understand why you could count it.
So in your mind, Cam Little is.
No, I don't count.
Now be careful, but like the best kicker in the NFL?
Heck no. Nah.
What would. Hear me out.
I'd rather have a consistent kicker rather than one that just kicked a 70-yard bomb.
If Cam Little sets a new NFL record in the regular season, will you wear a Cam Little jersey?
I don't put another man's name on my back.
But what if Cam Little in the regular season
Except Kobe's.
hits a 70-yard field goal?
I'll give him a good round of applause.
Well, the thing too about this kick is that it kind of makes you kind of rethink like how far can a human kick a football?
Yeah, what if we actually should start going
66 yards made by Justin Tucker. I think that one barely got by the crossbar. You back that up 4 yards, 70 yards in a game. Like, could this guy hit it from 75?
We will.
Could he go 80?
Love a kicker. Got a lot of questions about the Seahawks preseason. Speaking of preseason stats, coming up with ESPN's Brady Henderson at noon. Don't go anywhere.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
What's up? It's Michael Bumpus for Silver Reef Casino. I need you to get on I-5, go north, and get off exit 260. That's where you will find Silver Reef Casino. It's a great place to get away, to recharge, and get your mind right. They got great, comfortable rooms. They're spacious, free Wi-Fi, and you have tablets in there as well. When you're done, go downstairs to the steakhouse and the cantina if you want some real Mexican food and it's time to watch some games. Go to the Porter's Bay Sports Bar. The drinks are cold. The TVs are everywhere. And for my golfers, they got you covered too. Lou Michelle's Golf Course, 18 holes with water almost everywhere. Hit that fairway. They also have some promos going on. You can win $10,000 every Saturday this month with a grand prize of $50,000. They got events going on as well. You can check those out at silverreefcasino.com. Silver Reef Casino Resort is not a secret anymore.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Feeling the heat? Cool off with Home Comfort Alliance. Save up to 25% on 2024 ACs and heat pumps during the final days of the warehouse clearance sale. Plus, PSE customers get AeroSeal duct sealing for as little as $99. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
I love a day on the water with friends, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis sometimes holds me back. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
Teaching music is my passion, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm treating my joint symptoms with Skyrizi.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin at 4 months.
Or if you are an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Do we think it's a little weird the Seahawks haven't given extensions to their 2022 class? Like, we spent a good chunk of the offseason a few months ago, Bump, being like, is Ken Walker going to get an extension? Is Charles Cross going to get an extension? What are you going to do with Reek Woolen? What's going on here? They have the 6th most cap space in the NFL. I'm a little surprised. Are you?
Yeah, a little bit. I would think that Charles Cross would get that extendo clip real fast. I mean, he's been the most reliable out of all the their draft picks in 2022. You got Charles Cross, Boye Mafe, Ken Walker, Abe Lucas, Kobe, Reek Woolen, Tyreek Smith, Bo Melton, not on the team anymore, and Derek Young. I think everybody is still here except Bo Melton. That's crazy. Yeah, I think Charles Cross should have got that extension. And after that, it gets a little iffy. Maybe Boye Mafe. I think Ken Walker, you got to wait and see if he can perform. Abe Lucas, you got to wait and see if he can stay healthy. I think Kobe might be a candidate for that, too. He's shown that he can be reliable. Reek Woolen has to prove it this year because he's had some up and downs. So, no, at least Charles Cross and Boye Mafe, I feel like, should have been got the extendo.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that we haven't seen a little bit of it. I'm with you. I'm surprised we didn't see it with Cross. The Raiders just signed their left tackle to an extension. I wonder if the Seahawks are we're waiting to see some other chips fall with other franchises. So maybe you end up seeing one, let's say this month, right? Like now that Miller's been signed, now that you have a couple other guys go, you kind of get a better, you and Cross's agent and Cross get a better view for what that ends up being. Okay, cool. Ken Walker is really interesting to me because we've been having conversations more recently this offseason about the influence that Charbonnet could end up having.
Yeah.
And there is so much outside and internal excitement about Walker, and yet I don't think he's like cemented himself as this absolute positively sure thing. And I find that interesting for a team that wants to run the ball, that has a running back they spent a second-round pick on, that by all means intends to lean into his talents. That to still have that be a question mark is interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at just his yards from scrimmage, right? Obviously, that's receiving and rushing. And his first year, 1,215. Second year, 1,164. Then last year, 872. 9 total touchdowns in his first 2 years, 8 total touchdowns in his second year. Like, he's been productive. He just, when you start coming out hot the way that he has with a 1,000-yard season on the ground, you expect just for him to keep getting better and better. Played 50 games his first year, 50 games his second year, and you just got hurt at the wrong time. Like, last year was the worst time for him to get banged up and to show some just like he's slowing down a bit. I don't necessarily think he's slowing down. I think that his approach to the run game just wasn't conducive to these guys creating big runs, but also the play calling didn't help him either, right? It seemed like last year at times Grubb could be predictable. I hate bashing on Grubb because, one, I like the dude. Good guy. And two, I think that maybe he was just in over his head a little bit when it comes to connecting the run or whatnot. And he showed at times he can call a good game when it comes to running the rock. So there are some things that affect Ken Walker as well. I think that when you want to have success running the football, unless you are just a Baltimore Ravens, pack them in, we got a big boy back there with Lamar Jackson and a fullback, don't matter what you do, we're going to run the football. Running backs need help. You got to set things up. Unless you're Saquon Barkley with the best offensive line in the game and you are extremely talented, probably the best running back in the game right now, you're going to need help. Most of these running backs need help as far as scheme and setting up the run. So a couple things I've heard Ken Walker, his inability to be patient at times to give the run a chance, the play calling to set up the run, him not being healthy, and then you combine that with the mix and match offensive line that we've seen. You get what Ken Walker has put down the last couple seasons. So last year was just the worst time for him to get hurt.
Yeah, I think that a couple texters are pointing out those exact points specifically about Ken Walker's availability. Joe in Bellevue says Walker's not available enough to give him an extension. 509, K9's been injured every season. I hear you guys. I think that if you look at it from the point of view of a GM, you know that you want to run the ball significantly more this year than you did last year. There are two possible outcomes for this. I should say three. Number one, you run the ball a lot, and Ken Walker is getting the bulk of those carries. He stays healthy, has a phenomenal season. Now he's more expensive. Number two, you run the ball a lot. Ken Walker can't stay healthy. He doesn't end up getting more expensive. Instead, Zach Charbonnet takes off or whatever. Number three, you can't actually establish the run. You can't find success with anyone, whatever. The first option, you run the ball a lot more than you did last year, and Ken Walker benefits from that and stays healthy, makes signing him after this season significantly costlier for you. And guess what? It's not like he suddenly proved he can stay healthy. He just happened to be healthy this year. So I think that that's the gamble you are taking. Like, you could, in a world, get him for cheaper on an extension now than you would if he skyrocketed this season. Granted, that would mean that he is able to stay healthy more often than not. Like, it's a gamble no matter what, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here. And I'm saying there's an argument to be made where, should you plan on keeping Walker no matter what, you could save money.
I think it's the smart move not to pay him right now because of all the things you mentioned, especially the injury history. Missed 2 games his first few years and then 6 games last year. And then you don't really know how he's going to perform in his offense because he's shown that, he's always going for the big play. And I think I love that about him, though, because he's capable of breaking off the big play, but sometimes you just have to fall forward. And now I also think that the way that Kubiak and Mike Macdonald talk about Zach Charbonnet has created an even bigger competition at the running back spot. They could be thinking, what if we have our running back for the future of Zach Charbonnet? What if Zach Charbonnet just puts up 600 yards, 200 receiving yards, a couple of touchdowns, and K9 has his typical, not typical, 900 yards and doesn't play a full season? They can look at Zach Charbonnet and say, all right, well, we can wait a year, or let's pay this guy because he's more reliable and he's shown that he can handle it. So there's some stuff going on, man. Someone texted in that Ken Walker was considering quitting football. I didn't see that.
I think this person is lacking in understanding of what talking about something means. So they said that I haven't watched Ken Walker's YouTube channel. I have heard about it, though. I didn't, which surprised me that he has one, since he's not a massive talker. They said that he was talking about how he almost quit football, and then they said, why would I want to have someone here who promotes quitting football? I think talking about a thought that you once had. I'm assuming that in this video, Ken Walker was talking about, like, I was in this really dark place where I thought about quitting football. That's not promoting quitting football.
You know what that is, too?
A lack of emotional understanding.
That is someone being vulnerable and then you throwing it in their face.
Yeah, that's you lacking emotional IQ.
And I can't stand that, man. Like, you guys don't understand. It is tough to play in the NFL. It's hard on your body. You got people like us talking about you every day. Now these young athletes are growing up in social media where everyone has an opinion, you're critiqued. You're going to have some dark times. And he made the mistake of being too vulnerable with people who are going to troll the heck out of him and throw it in his face whenever they get a chance.
Someone saying, like, I almost considered quitting, or like, yeah, I almost quit, but then they didn't. What about that is promoting it?
No.
I think you're being a weirdo.
Everyone goes through hard times.
Saying I almost quit football, like, okay, and he didn't.
No, he didn't. But I think, back to our point, I think Charbonnet is a big reason why they have not extended him, because Kubiak loves Charbonnet, and so does the organization. So this is a healthy competition. Hopefully they both ball out, and K9 does enough to where you extend them, and you still got Zach Charbonnet over there, too, for a 1-2 combo.
We're going to stick with the Seahawks. Lots of questions about this team, including depth on defense with ESPN's Brady Henderson. He joins us next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man.
How many did you have in your career?
3.
How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands.
Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Now is the time. We talk about it year-round, but roofing season really is upon us. It's Mike Salk here. So what makes it roofing season? Long, dry days where roofing crews can work realistically sun up to sundown. They're cranking out projects all over our region, and Riverside Roofing is, of course, leading the charge. Local to Marysville, Riverside Roofing serves the entirety of Western Washington. They do amazing work. They've earned my recommendation, plus industry awards like GAF Master Elite's President's Club, a status fewer than 1% of roofing companies in the entire country actually achieve. Get a roofing quote in less than 60 seconds using Quick Quote directly on riversideroofingllc.com. It'll pop up as soon as you go on their website. During and after your roofing job, you can expect a yard and driveway totally clean of debris. Behind their national accolades is a family company from right here in Marysville, built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the local roofing company you can trust. Go to riversideroofingllc.com KTSA.com.
Summer is the time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your abs or tan. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your very own hair the very next day, and they guarantee your new hair will grow. They are the team that addressed my hair loss, and I recommend them to everyone. Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar. Advanced Hair's summer sales event is on for a limited time. So get the details and schedule your free consultation today. 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. With Advanced Hair, your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and make the call now while their summer savings event is still on. That's 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello. Welcome to Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name. It's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close, and they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Big year. I'm starting middle school.
Welcome to the jungle, Missy.
Best part? My parents promised me a new laptop.
Perfect for homework, essays, and drudgery.
So we went to Staples. They had all the latest tech, and laptops were up to 40% off.
Woo! Another back-to-school budget saved by Staples Easy Button.
Mom high-fived the cashier. So embarrassing.
Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. In Z23, select models only.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
ESPN Seahawks reporter Brady Henderson joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. And Brady, I want to start off talking about something that will have all eyes when the season starts, and that's Klint Kubiak's new offense. We already know a bit of what we saw in the preseason opener, but not everyone gets to go to Seahawks practice like you do. What are you seeing at Seahawks practices, maybe even more recent practices, that tells you a bit more about what to expect from Kubiak's scheme?
Yeah, I'll give you one thing I noticed the other day, and really I wrote about it the other day, but it's kind of been evident just throughout camp, is that this offense, it's going to look a lot different to the average fan than Ryan Grubbs did. And a lot of this stuff, is a lot of like differences between offenses, stuff that just a casual observer might not notice, but there are ways that you really are going to notice it. And one way is that they're going to get the quarterback outside of the pocket a lot more than Ryan Grubb did. For whatever reason, Ryan Grubb really kept Geno Smith in the pocket a lot last season, which I think was a pretty questionable strategy given just the struggles that they had to protect him. But Klint Kubiak's offense likes to get his quarterback on the move with a lot of design rollouts. And there was a couple plays in practice, I think it was on Saturday, where Sam Darnold and Drew Lock both made incredible throws while, moving to their left, which obviously is kind of the harder throw because you got to, twist your body and throw back across your body. But if you can picture like what an outside zone handoff would be, kind of that big, long, stretch play, and then the quarterback pulls it and rolls out, the other way, that's kind of like a natural complement to outside zone runs. And so if you look back at, last season with New Orleans, they had one of the highest percentage of dropbacks that went outside the pocket. That was also the case during his brief play calling stint in Denver a couple of years before that. So this is an offense that's really going to get its quarterback on the move, maybe not necessarily on design runs, but design rollouts that allow the quarterback to throw on the run.
Yeah, it was fun watching that offense, the different formations or whatnot. But one of the guys who stole the show for me was Helani. I knew he had it in him, but not like that. Where do you think he stands in the running back competition? I know it's a solid 1-2, right, with Ken and Charbonnet, but I think he got an edge on Damian Martinez. What are your thoughts on the run game in Helani?
I agree with that. Yeah, and I would have thought that, once Kenny McIntosh went down, I would have thought that Damian Martinez, the rookie 7th-round pick, has an inside track to win that number 3 running back job. I'm definitely not convinced of that now. I think it's still up for grabs, but it looks to me like Helani is clearly ahead of him on the depth chart. I mean, obviously you saw him start that game, and that's kind of what it's looked like in practice, where he gets, more of the reps, just ahead of Damian Martinez. I agree with what you said, too, about Helani. I didn't know that he had it in him like that. Last year I saw just a good running back who just seemed to be good at a few different things, but I didn't see that burst that he showed on that touchdown run where he, got around the corner and he really turned it on there. And so I don't remember seeing that last season from Helani. I haven't really seen that from Damian Martinez. He's, more of known more as like a power guy. And I was surprised when I saw that. And I think it's very clear that Helani is in the lead for that number 3 job right away. I don't think that Kenny McIntosh is a different type of runner. I don't think that overall there's a huge drop-off between McIntosh and Helani, other than maybe, McIntosh would have given them some return ability. But I think they're going to be okay, whichever guy wins that spot. But right now, I would say Helani is in the lead.
Is Torrey Horton pushing his way up into, I know it might be way too early to say the number 3 spot, but how have he and MVS looked at camp comparatively?
Well, Stacy, you know me that I'm kind of like a pump the brakes, very measured in what I observe and say. I'm gonna not pump the brakes on Torrey Horton. I'm gonna say that he is very much pushing for that number 3 job, and he's made a lot more plays than Marquez Valdes-Scantling, and that's to the point where now you're seeing Torrey Horton get some run with the 1s in practice, and MVS is spending a lot of time with the 2s. So it's kind of like with Helani and Martinez. I think it's kind of clear where that thing stands right now. And I also do kind of wonder about, if Valdes-Scantling doesn't win that number 3 receiver job, then you sort of have to start wondering about his spot on the team. Now, the tricky part of it is they guaranteed him $3 million of his 1-year $4 million deal. So you really wouldn't be saving a whole lot if you moved on from him, because remember, you might save that $1 million, but you'd have to then spend that $1 million on another player. So the net savings would maybe be 0, and you really would only be saving a roster spot potentially, unless there's there's offsets in the contract, and maybe you could recoup some of that money. I need to figure out exactly how that works. But the bottom line is they'd have to eat some cash and some dead money. They might only save the roster spot, but if you're a veteran guy who does not play special teams like MVS, if you aren't one of the top 3 receivers, then it's hard to justify a spot on the roster. And so I think that is something to keep an eye on. I thought it was noteworthy that Macdonald said the other day, and he made it very clear that those guys are in a battle for that job, for that number 3 spot. But he also said that Valdes-Scantling has had a great attitude about it. And I think that is key, because if you're a veteran guy who's not playing, who's lost his job to a rookie, it's a lot more problematic when your attitude is a problem and you're sulking. That would, I think, give a team more incentive to move on. But it sounds like he's got a good attitude about it, so that would work in his favor in terms of staying. But there is just the pure kind of roster economics of it. And so I do think that is something to keep an eye on, assuming that Torrey Horton continues this pace that he's been at.
Yeah, I was excited to see Jalen Milroe. I mean, obviously he has some things he needs to work on, but he looked better than I thought he was going to look. Obviously he's not going to jump up in the QB competition to the second spot. That belongs to Drew Lock. But what did you make of his performance?
Yeah, I agree with you, Bump. I thought it was going to be more of an adventure than it was. I thought you were going to see a couple plays, or maybe a play where the ball is just way off target, where he has the guy in the flat and he just throws the ball in the dirt, something like that. Because we just kind of we have been seeing a few of those plays. It does seem like he has kind of cleaned up some of those just kind of bad plays. And I think operation-wise there was kind of a little bit of sloppiness, but let's give the guy a break, because that's just what the third and fourth quarters of preseason football is always like, it seems like. And I thought, he obviously had that 27-yard run, which he looked incredibly fast. And apparently what I was told is that on the GPS trackers, he was only at 18, 19 miles an hour, which is not nearly as fast as you think that he can run. So as fast as he looked there, I do think there's maybe even an extra gear there. But just with some of the passing, he was 6 for 10. He took that sack at the end. Maybe could have run for that fourth down where he threw incomplete. But by and large, I thought he was accurate, seemed to make good decisions. And for a guy's NFL debut, with just some of the questions about his throwing ability, I'd say he did okay.
We got a couple injuries that we're tracking here. So beginning with Uchenna, I'm curious kind of what your gut tells you about whether he could start the season on PUP or whether he's got a chance to get some work in here. Beginning with Uchenna, what's the latest? What's your gut tell you? And then what's another injury or two you're kind of tracking?
With Uchenna, we really haven't gotten any updates from Macdonald since the first day of camp, when he said that he's not necessarily close to returning, and he really gave the strong impression that it could be like he might not be ready for week 1. So we haven't heard anything in terms of an update on that. The only update has been that he's still not back at practice. And so, I think it's still very, very questionable as to whether he's going to be ready by the start of the season. And you do got to wonder if, are they going to put him on, or keep him on PUP, I should say, which would mean missing the first 4 games. And so I think that is still a very real concern. And that makes me wonder, or that has made me wonder about, could they add someone to that outside linebacker room? I've mentioned Jadeveon Clowney as a guy who is still out there. I think that's something, I imagine that's a guy that they will continue to monitor as they, see how Nwosu is progressing. But I will give you one guy who's already on the roster that has impressed me that could, I think, factor into that conversation is Tyreek Smith, who was a guy they drafted in the 5th round a few years ago. He's sort of been a practice squad player for the most part, but he has shown some stuff in practice, and I think he kind of flashed in that game as well on Thursday night. And, he looks like a guy who could, give them at least a little something, and maybe could factor into that equation at outside linebacker. But I do think that, they could very well be looking at adding a veteran there, just given that Nwosu may not be ready by week 1. And then who was the other guy you asked me about?
Mostly just Nwosu, and then kind of anything else that's standing out. So that's perfect.
Yeah. So Tyrese Knight is the other guy to keep an eye on. He hurt his knee the other day in practice, and Macdonald said that in terms of his knee injury, he's getting close to coming back, but he also has some sort of medical issue, and that was the wording that Macdonald used twice. He didn't say injury. He said he's got some other medical issue that he's working through. He didn't go into detail on it, but he said it's going to keep Knight out for a couple of weeks. So it sounds like they're expecting him to be back by week 1, but he's got a couple things that he's going through, and that does kind of re-raise the question about the depth at that spot as well, at inside linebacker. So that could be another spot that maybe they look to add someone on cutdown day.
We had a couple young guys make some plays. Pritchett with an interception. Josh Jobe had one as well. Griffin hasn't been at practice with the last couple of weeks or whatnot, dealing with some personal stuff, it sounds like. What do you make of that competition? Is it just insert Griffin and when he comes back, or do you think that one of those two kind of earns some more playing time?
Yeah, when they signed Griffin, I think it was a 1-year, $3 million deal. I would have thought that he's very much competing with Josh Jobe to fill that number 3 cornerback job. So the guy that comes in when they're in nickel and Devin Witherspoon moves inside. I mean, it's just tough to kind of say. I'm not convinced that he's going to win that job just because of the time he's missed. And, Jobe has been out there every day. Jobe also filled that role for the second half of last season and did fine in it. So I still imagine there's a competition, but I imagine that, the week and a half or whatever it was that Griffin missed, that probably puts him behind in that. And so, that he's sort of another guy I think you may have to wonder about if he isn't that third cornerback. Well, do you really want to be paying your fourth cornerback $3 million when you already figure that fourth cornerback or that third cornerback, of all the times that they're in nickel, if Josh Jobe wins that job, there's going to be quote unquote nickel snaps where Nick Emanwari is in there as, the third safety as opposed to the third cornerback. And so I just don't know how much that fourth cornerback is ever really going to play. And again, when you're paying that guy $3 million, that could become kind of a prohibitive amount for a guy who may not be playing all that much.
Earlier this morning, Bump and I were looking at Mike Sando's new quarterback tier rankings, and Sam Darnold jumped up quite a few spots thanks to a 2024 campaign that really surprised a lot of people, and good for him. He lands in that tier 3 spot right next to Bo Nix and not really too far behind Geno. I think that a lot of the national sentiment has understandably been, oh my God, the Seahawks had at least a proven starter with Geno. What if they took a big step back at quarterback? How do you see the quarterback, not just the situation for Seattle, but maybe their quarterback situation in the landscape of what some other teams, playoff teams, are dealing with?
Yeah, I keep going back to the fact that there is still this big question about what it's going to look like with Sam Darnold. And I think you separate kind of the decision that the Seahawks made in moving on from Geno Smith and pivoting to Sam Darnold. I mean, if you just look at that decision, a lot of it makes sense. Wanted to kind of get somebody who they feel like would be a better leader than Geno Smith. They feel like they have that in Darnold. He is 7 years younger. He ended up being cheaper than what it would have cost to extend Geno Smith. And they picked up a third-round pick in that swap. And they also, feel like they've got a guy who really fits a lot of what they want to do or what Klint Kubiak wants to do. So you look at the decision, makes perfect sense. But still, there's this question of how it's going to work out, because I think I've made this point before that, look, if Sam Darnold was still in Minnesota, I think there would be this question of, can he replicate what he did last season? Because players just don't always pick up where they left off, especially when they kind of have those somewhat out of nowhere seasons like he had. And so, if he was still throwing to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson, and he still had Kevin O'Connell calling plays for him, I think there would still be a question of whether or not he can do it again. And now you put him in this whole new setting with, different coordinator, a group of pass catchers that isn't as good as what they had. So it's very much this question. And I think, one thing that has been interesting to me is that when I watch Sam Darnold, I nothing about his skill set really wows you physically. I think Geno Smith is a more talented passer than Sam Darnold is. But the Seahawks are banking on, all those other factors making him just a better fit for what they want to do and the kind of locker room that they want to have. And so I think it could end up working out for them. I just think there's still this pretty big question mark.
He is ESPN's Brady Henderson, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Brady.
Thanks, Brady.
You bet. Thanks for having me, guys. See ya.
Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, Shedeur Sanders threw a pair of touchdowns for the Browns in their preseason opener. What's the real headline?
That means since October, Shedeur has more touchdowns and Achilles tendons than Deshaun Watson.
Dang. Hey, proud of Shedeur.
Yeah.
It was against 2s and 3s, I get it. But if you watched the way he was maneuvering in the pocket, the throws that he made, I mean, that was impressive. Now, he's got to do it again. You got to do it against better competition. But if he were to come out there and look like a 5th-round pick, everyone would have said, I told you so. So now you got 31 other teams who passed up on him. The Browns even passed up on him and picked Gabriel in front of him. We still got to see what Gabriel looks like. I'm sure he's going to be okay. But that was a heck of a debut for Shedeur Sanders. I'm happy for him. Now build off of that and keep the good times rolling.
Did you guys, speaking of just more notes to come from the weekend preseason games, I have zero expectations for the Saints this year, but that Tyler Shuck's first pass was like this deep touchdown pass.
His first pass?
Yeah,
I think that was after he threw a pick 6. Okay. And then he came back. You talking about that deep one?
Yeah, because I had heard nothing but I shouldn't say nothing but bad things. There had been a lot of negative coming out of the Saints quarterback situation. Mm-hmm. Not a ton of excitement about Chuck, but
he played all right.
Yeah,
he looked good.
Dart looked good. There's just some preseason could be fun, man.
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the more fun preseasons because of the stories, right? You got Shedeur over there with 25 quarterbacks competing for one spot. You got Shuck, who no one expect anything from, bounce back from a pick 6 and drop a bomb. Jackson Dart looked like he's going to start midseason, Stacy. He looking good, so get them donuts ready. There's a lot to talk about. Cam Ward looked good. He was on point. That was it was a fun weekend.
You know how they have magic numbers for the playoffs or whatever? I'm going to have that for the Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson tracker, where it's going to be Russell Wilson not even playing, but then I'm going to be like, well, I mean, he's got 5 games left in the season technically. If he throws for 400 yards a game, you really never know.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Matthew Stafford was in street clothes during Rams practice today. He was expected to return to throwing today. What's the real headline?
Oh, look, a man put something off for later.
I'll do it later. I'll get to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what Matthew Stafford did. Wow, the first time ever a man said he'd do something and didn't.
It's like when there's a hole in the wall and you replace the drywall, you don't paint over it, you don't texture it, it's just drywall there for like a year. That's what this feels like.
That's exactly what this was. This was people saying, Matthew Stafford, I thought you were going to throw Monday. And he was like, the game's on. Can you give me 15 minutes? Just give me 15 minutes here. I'm relaxing.
Me and Curtis were talking about it. It's like when we get home and it's like the kids are on you. The wife is on you. You're like, listen, I just got home. And then the worst part is because I talk for a living. I don't want to talk when I get home. Give me like 10, 15 minutes to sit in silence. No one talk to me. This is what this feels like.
But see, Matthew, if you said that you would do it Monday, why aren't you doing it Monday?
Well,
you know what
Monday.
I mean? No one was asking you Sunday to
yeah.
throw. No one was asking you on Sunday. You said that you would do it Monday.
I'll get to it.
No, man. I don't know.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, the first AP poll of the college football season was released today. The top 5 is Texas, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia. Oregon at number 7. Well, the Huskies and Cougs did not receive a vote. What's the real headline?
As a Husky, can I ask that we share a vote with another school?
There you go.
Maybe if there's one.
And then claim it as your own.
Have half of a vote.
And then claim
Maybe
it.
hang on to it.
Split it, share it, talk about it for 35, 40 years.
We deserved it too.
And hang and
we deserved it too.
And put a banner in the stadium.
Where's yours?
In the 50s. We got one.
Okay, yeah.
In the 50s. In the 50s.
Okay.
Hey, we just had the number 1 pick in the draft, all right?
Wow, that was another share with Miami.
That's another thing you're sharing.
This is what we do with Miami.
I don't know about that one.
We just share with Miami.
Huskies and Cougs claiming stuff that Miami actually did.
That's exactly right.
Preseason rankings are dumb.
Are they though? Because I think they're 1,000% right about some of these schools.
Yeah, but I just give it like 3 weeks because you could be absolutely right about some and you're going to be absolutely wrong about a lot more. So I respect them. I just don't like them. Play 3 games and let's go from there.
Texas comes in at number 1, followed by Penn State, Ohio State. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out if there's one on here. Obviously, Curtis mentioned Oregon gets a vote coming in at number 7. I mean, when you're looking at the list, is there one, speaking of preseason rankings, where you're like, I think they're going to be wrong about this? Because I don't know, man, when I'm looking at it, I'm like, these are all pretty dominant programs. It may be something where it's like, oh, Clemson comes in at 4, maybe they slip to 6.
Here's what I'm concerned about. I'm actually calling the Arizona State game week 1. Holla at your boy. Arizona State, I think that they had a magical year last year. it's just
And
so
are missing
hard.
some big weapons now.
Yeah, it's just so hard to duplicate what they did. I know my guy Paul Moyer has been big when it comes to helping fundraise for NIL and all that good stuff. You got to have money to pay these players. I'm interested. Can they run it back? Schools like Arizona State typically don't kind of have a down year the next year. We'll see what happens there.
You know who has no faith in Arizona State at number 11?
That's right.
Curtis Rogers.
Fair enough. Yeah, they don't got Cam Scatterbo anymore.
Scum devil.
That's a lot to replace.
Let's see. Everything else.
Boise
in
State
here.
at 25. I mean, Genty had a great
That's
year.
what I'm
What's that
saying.
going to look like?
But Boise State is always kind of like that borderline. They've had a lot of different groups that have put them there where it's like, oh, Boise State, they should be represented. They should be higher. And then once they play real
I'll be very
competition,
interested to
they struggle.
see how.
But yes, I agree with you.
I'll be very interested to see how Tennessee does in comparison to UCLA because you had the whole Nico Iamaleava situation. Tennessee's at number 24 in the AP poll. UCLA unranked. If Tennessee finishes with a better record than UCLA, that whole fan base is just going to be laughing at UCLA.
There's a lot of really fascinating schools on here that have, I mean, you mentioned Cam Ward obviously going at number 1, Miami in at 10 here. There's a lot of schools where you're looking at them going, well, who are they without this player? You're absolutely right. Genty is one of those for Boise State at 25. If Boise State drops from 25 to out of it, you're not really panicked. But, like, I'm curious to see. Bama will be part of the conversation all year long. It's Bama. What does Bama look like with its grub back with DeBoer, right?
Yeah.
Curious to see what that looks like.
It'll be fun to watch.
He's a great college play caller.
It's going to be fun, man.
Lots of
Yeah.
weapons.
Grub knows what he's doing at that level.
I will let you know that Fred in Birch Bay said, I know about raising the roof.
My bad, Fred. I just, Fred.
You tried to use Fred
Fred's
as
the
your
big homie.
scapegoat.
He's the big homie. Always got to go to the big homie for some information.
You're listening to Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app. Taking a look around the NFL next. Don't go anywhere.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here, and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
Hey friends, Stacy here to tell you that Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of their great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles, plus huge discounts in their service and parts departments. What about those of you who want to sell a car? I've also got good news. Wayscar Ford's vehicle profit sharing plan is the best deal out there. They purchase your car and pay you up front, but then when they resell your old car, they share 50% of that profit with you. They've already paid back over $800,000 to customers. At Wayscar Ford, there are absolutely no games, no gimmicks, and no pressure. That's backed up by a full 5-day or 500-mile no questions asked return policy on absolutely every vehicle they sell. Change your mind for any reason. Bring the vehicle back for a full 100% refund. If you're like me, you want a good price, a low-key, no-pressure experience, and a full 5-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee. So Wayscar Ford in Auburn is the place to go. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law we can help.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Riereka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package, or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at PCFgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We have a lot of other NFL stories to get to, and we will in NFL headlines, but I'm going to start with Bump. I think you need to issue an apology.
Yeah, I do, actually. I want to issue an apology to all punters and kickers who have done this.
The kicking community.
This is huge.
Right? I'm a changed man over the last hour.
Wow.
Okay?
Maybe even 40 minutes.
Pat McAfee was interviewing Ryan Clark, and Ryan Clark thinks like me and Dave Wyman that punters and kickers aren't football players. So then Pat McAfee was like, hey, Ryan, have you ever tackled someone? He goes, yeah. He goes, have you ever rushed the football in a game? He goes, no. He goes, have you ever thrown a pass in a game? He said, no. He goes, have you ever scored? He says, no. He says, guess what? I've done all of that.
Wow.
If you are a punter and a kicker,
Wow.
and you've done all of that, my apologies to you. If you are a punter and kicker, you've done none of it, shut your mouth.
Wait, okay, so hang on.
Shut
you
your
have to be a punter or kicker that has either thrown a pass,
something other than just
punt or kick.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
John Ryan, what's
Sure.
up?
Right. Okay.
Michael Dixon,
Yeah. Okay.
what's up?
Okay.
He had a long run against the Lions.
A little
last
tougher
year.
for kickers to get involved
It
there,
is.
though.
So just kick the ball then.
I feel
Jason
like,
Myers, you got some work to do.
Here's how I feel like I feel like we started with you hating on specialists, and we're leaving the day with you hating on just kickers.
It might
You know what I
be.
mean? You're like return
It might
specialists,
be.
always in my heart.
Yeah.
Punters, a little more respect.
Yeah,
Kickers,
kickers,
still get the smoke.
shut your mouth. Love you, though. We need you. I appreciate you.
No.
Thank you.
Okay, let's get to actual NFL headlines here. I'm glad that you took
That was a
moment.
headline.
You're right, and I think a moment of self-reflection too. We're gonna start in not Seattle. I almost said Mike Macdonald. It's about Mike McDaniel, head coach of the Dolphins. How are things with Tua and Tyreek in the week since Tua aired out their beef? Mike McDaniel was asked that question by Rich Eisen. Here's what he said.
If you're trying to be great at anything, if you're trying to be better at things, if you're trying to evolve, if you want your team to be better, you want to be a better leader. I think that was something that, at that point, to the credit of the conversation, the two men were working on a relationship. I think both parties were just kind of tired of and just over the semantics of it. Like, hey, these are people that are working on the relationship. I think the power in that is, both of the players have, like most relationships, you learn and you grow. And when you invest, you go through whatever, but the relationship becomes more real. So I thought it was a maturation or a graduation of Tua as the leader of the team. And also, I think it speaks to how healthy they are because there have been that many opportunities for the public to see him interact. But as time passes, you'll see a more connected relationship and really the not hiding from anything. I think there's something empowering from their standpoint when they are on the platform that they are on.
Bump, what do you think?
That was deep, man. Just say, look, man, Tua is holding guys accountable. He's a quarterback of our football team. Tyreek took it on the chin like he should. This is football. Like, he got deep. This is 2025 coaching at his purest form. I get what he's saying. It took a long route to get to the point. The point makes sense. It all makes sense. But it should have happened a lot quicker.
Can I say something? I think Mike McDaniel is really, really, really smart. Very obviously intelligent, cares about his guys, a really good head coach. Wish him nothing but the best. They have these sleep podcasts where people just talk into a mic and they just say like nonsense or tell nonsense stories, and the point of the podcast is to put you to sleep. I think he could effectively narrate that podcast. Like something about his voice, like just
if you're trying to be great at anything, if you're trying to be better at things, if you're trying to evolve.
If it's 3 a.m., 2:30, 4 a.m., you're trying to get to sleep and you just like, God, I can't sleep. Let me just.
If you want your team to be better, you want to be a better leader. I think that was.
Yeah, man. That was a lot. I mean, he's right. He's right.
Yeah,
everything
he's saying
facts.
is exactly right.
But it just took too long.
The delivery is like relaxing. It's like, yeah.
I mean, that's like sometimes when I can't sleep, I put on like white noise and I'll do like the airplane noise. That's what that kind of sounds like to me. It's just there.
Couldn't sleep last night, and I have just started like 20 plus years too late watching The Office. It's funny. I don't know if you guys have heard of this show.
You just started?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys have heard of this show.
Guys, this new show is called Gilligan's Island.
This new show, it's called The
MASH?
Office.
You seen that show, MASH?
And it was the episode where Michael is not invited to Jim's party, and he's very upset about it. So he goes to his improv class, and he keeps pretending that he has a gun, and he's the FBI.
I'm so happy for you. I'm glad.
So why didn't anyone tell me about this show?
I'm glad.
It's so great. Next up, Micah Parsons remaining unsigned can't be for on-field production, so Dan Orlovsky has a hypothesis for why the Cowboys haven't been aggressive in trying to sign their star long-term.
Do they want to get a deal done with Micah Parsons?
Why wouldn't they?
I don't think they like him. I don't think they like each other. I could be dead wrong. I just don't.
Well, it's gotten personal to the point that you're making.
But that gets personal. A lot of that money stuff gets personal. There's something that feels like he doesn't like them, they don't like him. And it's a personal dislike that isn't attached to just money.
Right, but
trade request is 10 days ago and we haven't talked.
Right, but if we're winning the Cowboys, like you talk about Super Bowl windows, I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl team, but they have zero chance without Micah Parsons. They can have a good year,
So that's my question. That's why I want to sit there. How? Do they want to sign Micah Parsons? I'm not talking about the talent, the production. Do they want to sign Micah?
I love a conspiracy theory, and I love a sports conspiracy theory. There are a lot about why Micah Parsons remains unsigned, this being the latest.
It makes sense. I think at this point, you got to throw everything out there. Why wouldn't you want this guy on your football team? If it is personal, then let him go. Trade him. Do something. But just sitting here, it's been what, 10 days since Micah has requested a trade or something like that?
Crazy.
And nothing has happened? But what are we doing? You're not signing him. You're not letting him go. You're just letting him sit there. It makes no sense. No one benefits from him just sitting there. So it could be personal. We don't know what it is exactly, but I remember Micah Parsons talking about Jerry Jones a couple years ago, like he loved him. So something is wrong. I'm not mad at that hypothesis. I'm all for conspiracies. Keep them coming.
I don't know that I do buy into the idea that Bill Simmons and Albert Breer had about Jerry Jones loving all news, even negative news, and wanting to time up the Cowboys being in the news because of Micah Parsons with the Cowboys documentary coming out. I'm buying into that. I love Dan Orlovsky. I don't know that I'm fully buying into Jerry and the Cowboys and then Micah hating each other. They're big personalities, but I don't know. I don't know that I'm
Then what is going on? What is going on?
I think that they have this old school approach wherein this is not uncommon for football, but I think that this is especially prevalent with certain teams, including like old school legacy teams and ones headed up by someone like Jerry Jones. That you don't let players get any kind of power. You kind of look down on players. Like, I just think they aren't taking it seriously.
This is standard procedure when it comes to one of the best players in the game. You just pay him what he's worth.
I don't think
he's clearly worth about $40 million a year.
I don't think they flinch.
It makes no sense.
I know.
I'm okay with it being personal. I prefer it be personal at this point because if it's not personal, then it's just blatant disrespect.
I don't know what's going on there.
Someone said first Costco, now The Office. You're on a roll.
Okay, no, I didn't learn about Costco. Okay, no, hang on. I actually didn't just learn about The Office. I just watched it for the first time. I had been to a Costco. I knew of Costco. I had been to one many times. I'd never had a membership.
Yeah.
My parents had one when I was younger, but I never had one as an adult.
Leveled up.
Oh my God. And then also I went to one the other day after the Mariners' last matinee. It was so stressful. There were so many people and they were going everywhere, all directions. I was scared.
Don't do that.
A lady hit my elbow with her
didn't
cart.
say sorry.
You got to kind of do a Costco run in two people. You got to have your gatherer.
Yes.
That's the person who
and
gets the things off the the hunter who's got the cart and is just searching for lanes to get through.
I'm going to go by myself again. I'm just going to go at like 5 a.m.
I don't think it opens till like 10:30.
My brother in
Unless
Christ.
you get that executive membership.
It opens
an hour
at like
earlier.
no, I think it opens at like 5 or 6.
I don't know.
I swear Costco's open insanely. Or Bum's looking it up right
I
now.
don't
No,
think
I
so.
think it opens at like 5 a.m. I swear.
The ones near me in
6
Federal
a.m.?
Way in Auburn or Federal Way in like Covington, those ones are open at like 10 a.m.
Oh, that feels too late for Costco. That's lunchtime.
Yeah. Costco, 10 a.m.
What?
10 a.m.
That's right.
What?
Stacy got all excited, thinking the bump was going to back her up.
There's one. The gas station opens at 6 a.m.
Yeah, sure. Pump your gas out early.
Maybe that's
Business
what I was
Center
looking at.
opens at 7.
I'm so glad I didn't go
Oh,
there.
the business
5
center.
a.m.
That's the one where, like, if you own a restaurant, you're buying like 5-gallon tanks
What
of
opens
mayonnaise.
at 5 a.m.?
Car
What did
wash
I see
opens
that
at
was open
6.
at 5? Can you imagine?
Stacy's gonna be first in line for 5 hours, camping out for just Costco to open up. I
just
shouldn't have
going there
corrected
for,
her.
like,
It would have
energy.
been hilarious to see her line up at 5 a.m. People were like, "What are you waiting for,
She'd
ma'am?"
be so frustrated.
Yeah.
I can't even breathe. I just snorted.
I'm glad we figured this out for you.
Yeah, you would have been.
Because it's
you
just,
would have
there are
been for a
too
world
many
of hurt.
times when I realize like I just do something and I'm so proud of myself and then you guys tear me down. Like, remember that one time when you guys got really upset with me for not changing my oil? I don't even know.
Yeah.
And then I didn't die. Everything was fine.
Or like your check engine light was on for a while.
Yeah, and I couldn't figure out how to turn it
Maybe
off.
you should check the engine.
No, I kept turning the car off and on. I was like, eventually it'll go off. Maybe it's a blinker situation. I have nothing else to say.
Oh, man.
We're done with the NFL. We're going to MLB. A look ahead to the Mariners East Coast road trip coming up next.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch the cow, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Americans may not agree on much, but we agree on Social Security. We all pay in. It ought to be there when we need it. Social Security could face a funding gap in less than a decade, and I don't want to see a pay cut. I'm with AARP in the fight to protect the Social Security we earned.
Pledge to protect Social Security at aarp.org/weearnedit. That's aarp.org/weearnedit. Paid for by AARP.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by 2 of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Rowland-Smith. Mike, you were able to lose about a pound per day for over a month, 35 pounds in total.
Well, as much as I'd love to take all the credit, really, I was just following the plan. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic made it super easy, and there really was no part I struggled with. I was eating delicious, fresh food, all while losing weight. The accountability from your team was great. It just helped me keep the focus. I felt catered to the entire way, and I think Ryan really had a similar experience.
No doubt about it. I just finished up the program, and I can't believe how well it worked. I wish I would have started sooner. Talk about motivation. So, thanks for the recommendation.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I Googled Costco hours because I was like, well, maybe there's just something I didn't totally see with it. But you know what? I think maybe this one is, it's 5 miles away from me. So maybe I saw that as 5 a.m. I don't know, Bump. I was trying to make sense of it, but I'm really glad that I didn't.
Do you think MI was the abbreviation for
No, I don't really
minutes?
think I did that. I was trying to make sense of it in hindsight. I swear to God, I saw.
Don't do that.
No, I really did.
Don't do it.
I thought that I saw. I was so sure of it that I almost went before we did show prep even. And then I was like, you know what? No, because I might get some perishables. And that's the only reason I didn't go. I was going to drive to Costco at 5 a.m.
Goodness gracious.
You're lucky you got a pair of Costco heads you work with here, Stacy, because
Truly.
you would have been dying
so
out there.
mad. The Seahawks had practice today. We're going to be out at Virginia Mason Athletic Center tomorrow for training camp. Going to talk to some Seahawks guests, and we'll hear the latest from this team. We are not there today, but we do have some updates coming up from Mike Macdonald a little bit later in the show. Right now, though, we're taking a look ahead to the Mariners' East Coast road trip. They get an off day today, extra innings, hosted by Curtis Rogers, coming your way at 7 a.m. And then tomorrow, you're beginning a series against the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles are spiraling. They have not played well this year. They have not played well in their last several series. They're coming off a series loss to the A's. And then it kind of gets progressively harder. Bump, you're going to face the Mets. You're going to face the Phillies, two good teams with a lot of slug. And that's going to be a challenge. What are you watching here? What's the opportunity?
Well, the Mets are still. The Mets lost 7 in a row. They're struggling right now.
And they struggled. I think the Brewers.
Yeah, they're struggling right now. Just can the game travel? You know, it's easier to play at home, especially with the weekend that they had. It was Ichiro. Sold out crowd, 45,000 people. I mean, you play in front of 45,000 who are rooting you on, you get juiced up. I mean, Brash said he was juiced up, had some extra velo on his pitches. Even the ops were gassed up. What's that kid's name, man? He was on the mound just gassing at 100 miles per hour, 100 miles per hour. He had like 6 pitches over 100 before that game and threw like 16 over 100 in that game alone. So it was a beautiful setting at home. 9-1. The crowd's behind you. You got a new look lineup. Now can this game travel? You know what I hope this does? I hope the road trip allows Gino to kind of break out of his shell, right? Because at the house, he did all right, had a couple moments, but not the Gino that we want to see or used to see. No, there's opportunity. Baltimore has not been playing well. The Mets have been struggling. You know, things can change quickly with the Mets. I think Baltimore is who they are. So it's about just taking care of business, man. Same old thing, right? The White Sox, you took care of business. Tampa Bay was a better squad, but Baltimore, New York, the way they're playing right now, I would expect a series win, but you know how this game goes, man. 7 wins in a row. It's a season high for these guys. They're eventually going to hit a roadblock, slow down, and have one of those games. It's a matter of time. I just hope it doesn't happen within the next 2 series.
I was looking up Gino's splits against these opponents. From earlier this year, nothing. I thought that they would be like, well, maybe he had a really good series against one of these guys, but nothing really standing out. I agree with you. That's a good one to look for. It's just kind of like, hey, we've been waiting to see Gino bloom into the player. Not only like that he used to be, that we very much know he is, that he was this year. He's not hurt. Like, let's see if that happens. I think I'm keeping a close eye on pitching, stemming from our conversation with Adam Jude, Seattle Times Mariners reporter who joined us earlier in the show. We asked him, okay, what's the key? What's the secret sauce? What's going to make this team, who right now has the best odds of any AL team to get to a World Series, which is insane, what's going to make that team believable to you? And he was like, it's the pitching.
Yeah.
It ultimately comes down to that. And you're going to see Kirby tonight. And so maybe we're watching for how deep in the game can he go? Is there dominance here? Is there, Curtis, I know you had a stat about Kirby, and I'm sorry for putting you on the spot when you might not have the stat, but it was about how he had given up among the most hits last year, but just some of that dominance had changed.
Yeah, he allowed the most hits of any starting pitcher, really most hits of any pitcher in the American League last year, 181 in 191 innings pitched last year. Had a lot of success against the White Sox, struck out 9 in 6 innings. He did that against the Angels as well. In fact, the Mariners have won his last 3 starts, so that's encouraging for Kirby. But and what's interesting, too, is that the walks are actually up over his last 3 starts, too. 3 against the Angels, 2 against the Rangers, 2 against the White Sox. Makes you kind of wonder, is he pitching out of the zone a little bit more often, which has been a criticism of his stuff, is that, yeah, he's got such great control, but he leaves pitches out over the plate that teams take advantage of.
Bump, it's hard not to regularly watch what's going on with Houston as well. Worth noting, Houston is going to have 2 series against Baltimore during this time. So they're going to have the Red Sox, and then the Orioles are going to face Houston, and then Houston has the Tigers, and then back to the Orioles.
Yeah, I think you're finally to the point where it don't matter what Houston does. You're a better ball club at this point. So you focus on you and take care of business. I mean, Baltimore's coming off a series loss to the A's, who we got a series loss to recently. The Mets are just struggling. Nothing good is going over there. So on paper, you should win these ball games. I'm officially to the point where I don't care about the Astros. You're at half a game behind. You're the better ball club. The thing that's weird to me right now is that it feels like the bats are better than the arms right now. And I can't tell you the last time I felt that way about the Mariners. And I like operating from there, the bats being better than the arms right now, because you feel like the arms have the most potential to get right and start dominating.
Well, and the arms are here, right? I already mentioned it, so I don't mean to be repetitive, but when that listener was like, wouldn't it be cool if the 2024 pitching staff was here? What that listener meant very clearly is that they were still performing like it.
Yeah.
But my first reaction was naturally, well, they are.
Yeah.
Minus Miller, the 2024 pitching staff is here, and that's the massive difference. And it's a really good point you make about, like, you have the pieces in the building. It's one thing when last year you don't have the offense, and it's like, well, where is it coming from? I mean, sure, like Julio could step up. The pieces you already know could step up, but there was no, like, Kyle Schwarber you were randomly going to plop onto your roster.
Right.
There was no other piece you could add. This year, you have question marks with pitching, but the pieces are here, meaning that, like, the answer could be here, too. Because those guys aren't really struggling with injury. It just hasn't really been there. There's been a volatility that wasn't there last year. But, like, those pieces are here, and they're healthy. You have 4 of your 5 starters.
And Robles is starting his rehab right now, 40 to 50 ABs, and then we'll see what's going on there. So that's the game has to travel on the road. And a couple series where you feel like you are the better team, take care of business, and if the arms lead the way, I'd love to see that. It's the arms and Geno. This is what this road trip is about, the arms and Geno.
All right. As a reminder, this series begins tomorrow. Not tonight. You have a Mariners off day today. Tomorrow, this series against Baltimore, a 3-game series. These are going to be earlier matinee games around like 3:45 p.m. or so, and then a Thursday day game. And then you've got the series against the Mets carrying you through the weekend, and then beginning next week, a series against the Phillies to wrap up an East Coast road trip. The latest from Mike Macdonald and the Seahawks coming your way next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man. How many did you have in your career? 3. How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands. Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
The 2025 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2025 training camp collection, Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field or online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details, on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details, to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hey friends, Stacy here. Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of their great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com.
You've heard the saying, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Since 1926, my family's been helping local businesses make great first, second, and long-term impressions. We know how to make your company look good with quality uniforms, logoed apparel, floor mats, linens, and more. If you're paying for linen service or doing it yourself, let's have the conversation. The information and quote are free, but the savings and service can really add up. Visit suplinen.com. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do.
Seattle home prices, well, they just keep going up, and you might be ready to take advantage. If you're getting ready to sell or just moved into a new home, now is the time to get a thorough inspection of your crawl space and attic. And don't do it yourself. You don't want to be crawling around in there. You probably don't even really know what to look for. It's Mike Salk here, and Crawl Pros will go where you don't want to, so you can know if there's anything going on in your crawl space or attic without having to crawl into and evaluate those spaces on your own. A free inspection will let you know if your home is energy efficient and if the air you're breathing is clean and safe. Plus, there are some really great utility rebates available right now to help you with the cost of the new insulation if it's needed. How nice would it be to get someone else to cover that cost? Had them out to my house, and it was a great idea. Did that free corner-to-corner inspection, found some issues. They took the pictures, showed them to me, and then solved the problem. No issues since. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Let's go! This This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners are off today before opening up a 3-game series against the Baltimore Orioles tomorrow. You can still get your Mariners fix. Tune in at 7 p.m. for a series preview plus the latest Mariners news and updates. Every Mariners off day, it's Extra Innings hosted by Curtis Rogers on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Let's head to Seahawks headquarters where Mike Macdonald speaking to reporters.
The way the preseason's set up in camp, there's eight days between each game. So instead of just trying to get as much work in without while being as smart as possible, so we'll kind of ramp into the KC game. So we're in pads again tomorrow, shells Wednesday, and then kind of into our pregame routine starting on Thursday. So, but the guys were locked in. A lot of great work today. So very pleased. Take the rest of the day. Got some meetings throughout the afternoon, and then go recover and get ready to just put the pedal down for the rest of the week.
Did Olawutimi have a setback, and could he play Friday?
Not to my knowledge, no. I don't know.
Mike, what have you
I was going to go for one question.
and Brady.
Those are two guys that went into the offseason with something to prove. And both guys have really taken ownership of the trajectory of their career by taking care of their bodies, taking a ton of reps, doing a great job, great attitude, positive, just really attacked the whole offseason program. And you can tell the position that they put him in going into camp, and then they've really backed it up with some great practices, and I thought they played well in the game. So excited about both those guys.
Ken Walker, is he okay or what?
Yeah, we have a program. We have a plan for Ken, and we're sticking to the plan.
The depth of that position that showed up in the preseason game, just what do you like about your running back group all the way through everybody?
First thing, I think KP does a phenomenal job with those guys, and we got great guys in the room as well. Think about Zach and his leadership. You can feel him start to assert himself a little bit more. But guys that play hard, that get north and south, which is great. We've taken care of the ball so far, which is even better. And there's some things that we want to improve, just like every position group. But they're going to get there, because the intent's there every day, and you can feel the marginal gains that they're making. But it's an exciting group.
Has Helani kind of taken a little bit of a step maybe from last year to this year? Or...
Well, again, George is like a broken record here, but when I think of these guys that are in the developmental part of their career, the off-season program is critical. And George is here every day. He works extremely hard. He gets after it. He's got a great attitude. He always knows what to do, even though, reps are probably limited in some capacity. And when he's given his opportunities, he's done a great job with it. So it's kind of expected because of what he's done. I'm not surprised by his performance.
Mike, what have you thought of the off-ball guys behind Ernest and Tyrese, Patrick, Drake, Jamie, and how that kind of group
we talked about this the other day, but I think those next two guys, Patio and Drake, have had great camps. They, Patrick is probably, we have this like in the defense competition of like stats and hustle plays and tackles, and basically just tracking production. And Patio leads that over camp. So Drake's right there. So they haven't started yet in their career, but we believe in the development guys. Guys are allowed to get better, and you see the improvement of those guys. Josh Ross, I thought he had started with a pretty good camp, but it's unfortunate with his hand. And we saw Jamie back today in a walkthrough capacity, and you know how we feel about Jamie. So great opportunity in front of him, but just like T-Night, it's like he didn't start until he did, and then he's a starter. So these guys, they haven't started yet until they get a chance to start, and hopefully they keep taking advantage of those opportunities.
What kind of camp do you think Byron's having?
Great. I think he's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. Saw he's cut his hair, so he looks sharp. But love Byron. Just another guy just hammering away, executing, doing a great job.
Did you recognize him when you first saw him?
Can't lie and say I didn't. No, I recognized him, but I was pleasantly surprised. He looks good, man. I gave him a salute.
We saw Pritchett had the interception in the game. What kind of camp has he had? Where do you kind of fits into things right now?
Yeah, again, I keep saying this, but a guy that's asserted himself over the season. I think it took him a little bit while to get comfortable and gain confidence, but I think the room really respects him too. Like he works extremely hard. He's always available, and he's really competing. He's really competing for those reps right now. In our third corner spot. So exciting to see him go attack the ball. I mean, it's not easy to make that play with the anticipation, go attack the football. If you play timid, if you're not decisive in that moment, he probably doesn't make that play. So just tells you where he's at mentally at this point.
With Murphy in the season, are you planning on moving him around, or you want him to hone in on a role that you could
Well, I mean, he's playing D tackle, so he's going to be within from B to B, basically. Probably wouldn't move him outside, over the tackle at this point. Not saying he couldn't do it, but that's probably where he's going to live. It just depends on who's in the game. Is he playing with, Jay Reed? Is he playing with Leo? Kind of how that works.
And speaking of nose, Hankins, is there a status?
And no update on Hank at this point, no.
Are you still expecting him to be ready by week 1?
I wouldn't say I was or wasn't expecting him. I was just kind of with what he's dealing with his back, it's just like you can't have like a timetable, because you're either gonna be wrong or you're gonna be disappointed, or and if it's back earlier than maybe the prognosis is initially, then great. Now we're rocking and rolling. So it's really just a matter of how quickly the back kind of calms down.
Is he back home getting care, or is he around?
No, he's here.
Is he? Okay, so he's meetings and he's in the home.
I mean, let's face it, Hank doesn't need a lot of reps to get ready to play. I mean, he knows what to do. He's in the meetings, doing his rehab, doing a great job.
So, Mike, you've talked about competition. Kirk asked you about linebackers, and then we talked about the DBs. Just how would you assess the competition of the backups or the players that are trying to fight for reps overall? How would you assess that?
Well, the competition's hot. I mean, this is the time where you put your hard work on display, and I wouldn't say that we're exclusively evaluating these guys off of game reps, but it does matter on how it shows up in the game. We get a lot of great observations out here at practice every day, and how you go about your business in the building matters a ton too. And then I think it's going to be really fun to see these guys practice against Green Bay, in the joint practice, and ultimately the third game. So it's just you have all these opportunities to get to know the guys, see how it fits. Not easy decisions, which is a great problem for the Seahawks. We're deciding through between a lot of great players. And look, I think you saw last year how we started the season with our roster isn't necessarily how it looked week 3, 6, 12, how we finished the season. But these are guys that I can confidently say that we're investing in our building, and no matter how it shakes out, we want them to be here so we can develop them, and eventually they can earn an opportunity to be on the field.
At center and right guard, obviously injury situations aside, is there any way that if a winner doesn't really declare himself, obviously, that you would go into the season and rotate again like you did last year?
Right now, the plan is not to rotate. I think we're narrowing in on what we want to do. We have a process, so right now we just want to stick to it. We'll name a starting 5 at some point.
Jaron Reed's a guy who was here before you got here, and obviously you knew who he was as a player in the production, but what maybe stood out to you or surprised you the most about him?
About Jarran Reed?
Yeah, like as you got to know him and be around him.
I'm trying to take myself back to when we first got here. Obviously, I knew who he was as a player from all the way back to Alabama. So just knew he was a great player. I was a little surprised he was in the A-gap as much as he was. I thought he was more of a 3 technique, and that's how we ended up using him. John's kind of sang his praises like throughout the process about the roster and what we think of him as a person and as a leader, and he's really backed that up. So he's a guy that's leading the charge defensively. He's just a great like personality guy to have around all the time because he has some like he just has a great feel for like we talk about being loose and focused. I mean, he's just got that mentality when it's when we mean business. Hey, there's a certain standard. He's going to be the guy that's definitely going to uphold it and show the way to the rest of the team. But it's also, hey, we're here a lot and we meet a lot and we do football a lot, and he makes it fun.
You said AD called the game Thursday, right?
Yeah, I thought he did a great job.
When he does that, is there things you can take away from when he does it, or just hearing him that you apply to how you make calls?
Yeah. I think that's an extension of what we talked about last week, of how we split some calling duties during practice. It's a great opportunity for him, obviously, and thinking on the fly, new situations, solving problems in real time, which is anytime you haven't called plays, those are the things that you got to be able to do. And I thought he did a great job of it during the game. And from my perspective, I like hearing what he's thinking, because inevitably it's not going to be the same thing I am all the time, and it's an opportunity to either kind of just bridge the gap one way or the other. And so we're always kind of working off each other, and like we'll go back and debrief and go through what we were thinking those times, and so it's good stuff. It's just a really fun process.
Hey, Coach, you were a linebacker lover from the beginning, and you guys didn't add anything to your depth this year. You didn't draft anyone to sign in with. What's something about your linebacker depth, Drake Thomas, Patty O'Connell, Jamie Sheriff, John Scott, that maybe you know about them or appreciate that other folks might not?
I think it's the same answer as earlier. Is you see the production in practice. You're around these guys all the time, so we have confidence in them when they earn their opportunity that they're going to take advantage of it. Production doesn't lie, especially in practice. It's just you have such a big sample size, and so that, at some point you gotta kind of listen to what you're seeing and seeing and hearing out there. So good stuff.
I might have missed this, but have you talked about whether you're doing captains the same way this year as you did last year?
I haven't decided 100%, but we're probably still gonna do game captains. Yeah.
Like with Sam coming in, it's a big ask of a quarterback to be new scheme, new receivers around. Like everything's new to him. Just how have you seen him handle that growth process throughout, from when he got here to where he is halfway through camp?
He's attacked it. I mean, he's. What you love about Sam is there's very little variation in his approach. It's steadfast. He's determined. He's competitive. He gets feeling certain ways sometimes out there, especially at me maybe, which is good. And he always responds to those challenges. So I think, and that's where growth occurs. And I think he's playing right now. I think it's a pain in the butt. He's getting the ball out fast. He's accurate. He's making fast decisions. Operationally, we're still working through a couple things, but I was just telling him yesterday, it's a pain in the butt to pressure him because the ball's out and he's making, it's hard to get to him.
You watch him throwing, especially to Jackson, Cooper Kupp. Does it look like those guys have been playing together a lot longer than?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think those guys have a great chemistry between the two receivers and all three, and really our core offensive guys. I mean, it's like off-season program, but the guys were here. The whole offense was here every day. I think we might have missed a handful of days collectively between the whole unit, which is really incredible. So that's paying off at this point in the year.
Just to pressure him, please. How much has he ramped up in that just in the 12, whatever, 15 practices out there? Yeah.
Well, they're installing too, and we're kind of getting to the stuff with Sauce later in camp. So we're kind of giving them the full game. We're running more stuff in practice than we'd ever carry into a game. So it's it's good for us on defense to get it executed and play it, play quickly and and execute the right way. And offensively, it forces you to follow your rules and make quick decisions, and that's what he's doing.
You mentioned how he kind of did get his point across, or whatever. Abe Lucas the other day called him really even-keeled, which seems maybe slightly different than that. But does he have a way of kind of?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I say. Like he's the same guy every day in terms of his approach. Like Abe is right about that. But when it gets competitive out there, I mean he's right there.
You talked about Nick playing nickel. You haven't said whether that's a safety position, a linebacker position, a corner position. Does it matter? Is there differences in the responsibilities between those three?
I think it's easiest to put him. I mean, he's in the DB room, and he is a safety. I mean, he's gonna rep it, in base personnel at safety when there's not a nickel on the field, and you could see him in some other spots too, as we move forward. But I think it's easiest to kind of work from back to front, and then when you're at the second level, it's kind of like being a down safety to a certain extent, and so there's a lot of crossover teaching.
Mike, with your receivers beyond Cup and Jackson, what do you want to see from those guys to separate themselves and earn more opportunities?
Well, take advantage of their opportunities, one, and then it's, we're going to be in a lot of, base or 21 personnel, 12, 13, 22. So special teams is going to be a big part of it as well on who ends up, grabbing their helmets on Sundays for us.
Mike, I don't think we've asked you about Shamar and John Charles throughout camp. What's he been dealing with? Why has he been able to be active?
It's a lower body injury. It's not. I mean, it seems like it's a long-term thing, but we're going on 2.5 weeks now, so I think we're within week to 10 days of him being out there and rolling. You're gonna hold me to that. We're gonna get to day 11. You're gonna get the next question.
This is a random one, but do you ever borrow or pay attention to principles from other sports, like zone principles in basketball defense or anything like that, to learn from for football?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not zone principles from basketball, but movement for sure. How we get ready for games. We changed our pregame routine this year. A lot of the studies that actually Jay did for us, which I thought was really awesome. So there's always stuff to learn from. Having a hard time giving you exact, but you're gonna take inspiration and ideas from anywhere.
What did Jay find that you changed?
It's kind of our thing right now, without but you'll see it. You saw it on Thursday. We just kind of doing our own way now, but there's reasoning behind it.
Anything else? Thank you.
Let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, what's an overreaction you have after this weekend?
Overreaction Monday. Because football season is here, Stacy. I don't know if you noticed there are football games being played this weekend.
Yep.
And I watched a lot of them.
I believe it.
And a lot of highlights, too. And I'm going to go out there and say this year's quarterback class is way better than what we thought and what people are giving them credit for. Because you're comparing them to the 2024 class. It's 2024 class is going to be the leaders of the new school. These guys are going to carry the NFL for the next 10 to 12 years. It's going to be awesome to watch. But Dart, 12-19, 154, 1 touchdown. He will win me my bet this year with you. Shuck. 15-22, 165, 1 touchdown, bounce back from an interception. Sanders, the most hated on quarterback in this whole draft. 14-23, 138, and 2 touchdowns. And Cam Ward, 5 for 8, 67 yards. Yes, it was against 2s and 3s. Yes, it was week 1. Yes, everyone has to show up the next week and perform and show that they can keep this thing rolling. But I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect these type of performances from these guys, especially Shuck. Shuck was the one that I was the most skeptical about. He's like the 6th or 7th year senior, old as heck, used to back up Justin Herbert, but he went out there, bounced back from an interception. I just like this, man. I think the NFL is in a cool place right now. I think their young talent has been showing up and showing out, and I think that these quarterbacks need some respect on their name. They're more better than I thought, but you got to prove it again in week 2.
Second down. Which position played well for the Hawks last week?
Man, we talked about Halani doing this thing look good. Horton doing his thing looking good. Arroyo had a couple catches, but no one's talking about this offensive line. I know it's not the starters that we think we're going to see. All right, we did see Abe Lucas and Gray Zabel out there, But as a whole, these guys only gave up 1 sack and 2 quarterback hits. I know it's preseason. I know those aren't the ones over there. But if you can get the 2s and the 3s to execute like this, that's going to help. I also know that the play calling helps. Running the football helps. When you have these 2s and 3s on their heels because you're play action and doing all that stuff, it's going to make it difficult to get after the quarterback. But a lot of these dudes aren't going to be on the football team, so I want to give them the love. We talked about every other position today. Even the kickers, we talked about them. Didn't talk about the offensive line. They need some kudos. 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits. I don't care if you're playing at a park in Bellevue with a whole bunch of 10-year-olds. All right, if you're only giving up 1 sack and 2 quarterback hits, that's a good day no matter what level, no matter where you are on the depth chart. Big ups to the offensive line.
Can you imagine playing against 10-year-olds and you give up a sack?
Give up a sack.
And you're like, I only gave up 1 though. I mean, that kid, he was shifty. You know, he was fast. He was big for a 10-year-old. He looked 13.
Hey, there's some big kids out there, man.
3rd down. Who needs to have a big week 2 of the preseason?
Well, I highlighted Helani and him doing his thing. Damian Martinez needs to have a good week. He needs to stay in the fight when it comes to that 3rd quarterback position. 3rd running back position. Damian Martinez needs to show up. He had 6 carries and Helani had 7. Helani outperformed him. It's competition. You're on the same team, but you're battling for a spot. The other ones, Job and Pritchett, they both had interceptions, but Griffin is going to be back. We'll see if he plays this week. You guys got to compete for that spot over there. Stiff competition in the DB room. And then any receiver not named Horton needs to ball out. We know Jason ain't going to be out there. We know Cooper Kupp, well, they'll be out there maybe, but they're not going to get a lot of reps.
Yeah.
So if your name isn't starters or Horton, you need to go out and have a day because Horton established himself. He's fighting for that number 3 spot. Bubbo need to show up. Sims, if he plays, need to show up. Plumlee needs to show up. Derek Young did have a big catch. She had a 31-yard game. He needs to show up. But the star of the show this past weekend or Thursday was Horton, and everyone else needs to show up as well.
I thought it was interesting that when we had Brady Henderson on earlier, who is typically very measured, reserved, careful, pragmatic, and we asked him, are we jumping to conclusions and thinking Horton has leapt into the 3rd spot? He was like, nope. I wonder if MVS is one of those names, and if so, how much time is he actually going to get?
Oh, MVS feels it. He knows what's up.
Yeah.
He knows what's up, but he also knows he has some job security too, though, man. When you're a 7-year veteran and you know this offense, even if you did get bumped down to the 4th receiver, you're not going to go anywhere because you can be relied upon at any moment to jump in and run the offense.
4th down. Seahawks taking on the Chiefs Friday, August 15th. Who do you want to see get more playing time?
I need more Milroe. Milroe needs 2.5, 3 quarters of ball. All right, you can throw Sam in for a quarter like the Raiders did Geno. You can sprinkle in a little Drew Lock. But we know who Drew Lock is, and we know no one can do anything to take Sam Darnold out of his number 1 spot. Let's go with Milroe. I want to see what he can do. I want to see how he can adjust when the defenses adjust to him. Yes, it's preseason, bum. Don't make it a big deal. But if you don't perform in preseason, you don't instill any type of confidence in your coaches. And not like Milroe's going to be cut, but it's going to stall his development. Get him out there. Let him sink or swim. Let him fail. Let him feel all of that. Let him have success. I want to see more Milroe because I was excited with what I saw last Thursday.
Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
Not the Mariners. They have the night off, and thank goodness for that before they hit this road trip. But we've got 2 hours of baseball talk hosted by Curtis Rogers coming your way with extra innings from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on Seattle Sports. Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, if I could get an interception, man. How many did you have in your career? 3. How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands. Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Start having fun. Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, vacation you burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist because vacation you doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Overburdened with a bunch of stuff you don't want anymore, but feel bad throwing it away? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We prioritize donating and recycling. We'll help get your items to those in need instead of going to the landfill. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. It's time to reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package, or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. we can help.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming your way in 15 minutes, it's What I Need to Know. Get your questions in. Any question, 866-979-3776. I got a lot of really good ones so far. Someone already sent in. We were talking about 2022. I almost said rookies. 2022 players awaiting new contracts. Which ones you would rather give those to? Someone said, okay, pick one. Ken Walker, Rick Woolen. Someone else. Just some questions like that for What I Need to Know. I've got some good ones, but could use a few more. Whatever you want. Sports, non-sports, doesn't matter. 866-979-3776. Bump. We heard from Mike Macdonald earlier today, and we also, you and I, sat down and interviewed Klint Kubiak. And during our conversation with Klint Kubiak, afterwards, we said, that was a really interesting answer he gave. And in fact, another reporter who shall remain unnamed came up to me a few days later and said, hey, that was a really interesting interview. I thought it was very interesting that you said this about this player. And I said, you're right. We thought so too. And then today, while Mike Macdonald was speaking from Seahawks headquarters, Curtis mentioned the exact same thing where he said, hey, do you guys notice that this same player is being mentioned? And I find that very interesting. That player is Zach Charbonnet. Mike Macdonald and Klint Kubiak seem to be saying a lot about Charbonnet without actually trying to. Here's what we mean. This is what Kubiak said last week with us.
Number one is intelligence. Number two is longevity or just availability. Guys that are available for the whole game. The best backs that I've been around are super smart. The guys that can we give them difficult game plans and they can go out and make adjustments. And then we got, our top two guys are doing some really good things, but, Charbonnet, the way that his mental approach to the game is extremely impressive. He does not flinch. If he ever has a question, you didn't coach it good enough because he's that on it. So really been impressed with him.
And Bump, this was Mike Macdonald today when asked about the running back group.
We got great guys in the room as well. Think about Zach and his leadership. You can feel him start to assert himself a little bit more. But guys that play hard, that get north and south, which is great. We've taken care of the ball so far, which is even better. And there's some things that we want to improve, just like every position group. But they're going to get there, because the intent's there every day, and you can feel the marginal gains that they're making. But it's an exciting group.
Now, Bump, maybe I'm just trying to stir up a fun topic in August, but neither of these guys were actually asked about Zach Charbonnet. They were asked about running back groups or about their perfect running back or what stood out to them. Both mentioned Zach by name. Does that tell us anything?
It tells us that Zach is doing exactly what he needs to do, and that's good for him. I mean, it's the second year or third year? Third year.
Third. Right?
Third year. Yeah, it's his third opportunity to have like a first impression, right? It's you've gone through training camp before, and he's not taking it for granted. And he's executing, and he's available. Like Kubiak pointed out availability. What has been Ken Walker's knock? He's not available. I can't speak on Ken Walker's knowledge of the game as far as picking up pass pro and all that stuff. But it sounds like whatever Zach Charbonnet is doing is making him stand out from the pack. And that's good for him. And I think that's good for Ken Walker, too. I don't know if he listens to this stuff, but he's in the same room. Like, I've been in a room with a receiver who just knew more than me before. And I'm like, I need to get on that level. Like, I need to ask the right questions. I need to watch more film because he sees the game differently, and he's getting a different response from the coaches. Naturally, if you're a competitor and you're seeing someone outshine you mentally, physically, I hope Ken Walker's using that as fuel and being like, all right, well, let me step my game up a little bit. And again, I don't know what Ken Walker's like in the film room, so I can't speak to that. But I can speak to Zach Charbonnet practicing every single day and taking advantage of every opportunity. He's shining right now. I still think it's Ken Walker's room. I still think it's going to be his job to lose. But Zach Charbonnet is making a good impression.
I think that fans should feel really excited about a lot of the unsolicited feedback and great stuff that they're hearing about Zach Charbonnet. Like when Zach's not being asked about in particular or by name, he's being mentioned, and that's always a really good thing. I think people should also hit pause on writing off Walker as in any way. I hear a lot of CJ Prosise-esque critique, right? Oh, he sneezed and broke his leg. And it's like, first of all, guys want to be on the field. There's been maybe 2 players ever that I've heard about where people question, like, how
Right.
tough are they really?
Mhm.
Overwhelmingly, players are very, very tough. They really want to be out there. They are really upset when they can't be. And Walker has done more than someone like than someone like Procise ever did. So I don't love the comparison of, oh, he can't stay healthy. Yeah, it's frustrating. He hasn't been able to be overall healthy, but he's not been necessarily snake bitten, can't stay on the field.
Right.
It's just been a frustrating mix of tons of potential, can't quite deliver.
Yeah. It's because you see what Ken Walker can do. Ken
Yeah,
Walker can
he's had a
do some
1,000 yard
things
season.
that Zach Charbonnet physically just can't do.
Yes.
It's a more appealing style, right? It pleases the eye a bit more. But every now and then, you need that old school. And not to and Zach Charbonnet got a little bit of wiggle. He ain't stiff, but Ken Walker's genetics is just different in that body. So that's what keeps me interested in Ken Walker, and I'm sure when the coaches put on that film and he flashes, they get interested. But it's about consistency and being reliable. That's the edge that Zach Charbonnet has on Ken Walker. Talent-wise, Ken Walker's a more talented back.
Yeah, and it's worth in both cases being like, and credit to this person for that. Credit to Zach Charbonnet for being incredibly tough, someone who gets his coaching staff very excited about his potential, and someone who's been able to stay on the field. Hopefully Ken Walker can. Like, no one should be at any point even like making fun of the fact that Ken Walker, like, this is someone who is having a career much more indicative of like the average running back as opposed to a can't stay healthy at all guy. It's just, running backs get beat up, man.
Yeah.
It sucks. Someone said from the 425 bump, how is Zach Charbonnet a good fit when he's a gap guy and Klint wants zone all day?
So that's a good question. I think that the zone benefits Ken Walker more than obviously Zach Charbonnet. But that doesn't mean Zach can't run no dang zone.
Yeah.
If you're a running back, you're gonna run zone. You're not just a one type of running back. I think Zach is more of a downhill type of guy, and I think that because Ken Walker has more wiggle and more creativity, when you run the zones, you're pressing the B and looking for the cutback late. Obviously, that works for him, but it works for Zach too. It's just Zach understands how to hit the gap on gap schemes better than Ken. Ken understands and has a creativity. He's like a freestyle type of guy. You know what I mean? Whereas Zach is more of a structured type of guy, but both can still do what the other can do, just at a different level.
Yeah, I think again, in an ideal world, Ken Walker's perfectly healthy and kind of is exactly who you want heading up that offense. And also, we don't need to look at it with a scarcity mindset. This is exactly what most head coaches would want. We've got two really good backs that we can use in slightly different ways. Let's see who benefits us in certain moments. The offensive line takes a step forward. That is good news for both of these guys. I mean, I'm not saying that it's like any offensive lineman's fault that Ken gets healthy, but it is good news when you've got a great offensive line in front of you if you're injury prone. That can be really good news. I don't know. Would you anticipate a big year for Zach Charbonnet, or is this just kind of training camp talk? Ken's not practicing today. Zach was out there looking great. That's just what happens. Or are you reading into it?
No, I got to wait and see.
Yeah.
I just got to wait and see how they're going to be used during the season. But if we're just going off of what we're hearing, it sounds like Zach is going to get more opportunities than he did last year.
I hope so. I hope that they both do. I mean, I think just by virtue of, we're getting back to the conversation we had earlier of like whether or not you pay Ken. By virtue of them wanting to run the ball more, he's going to become more valuable. If Ken Walker stays healthy for you, he will be more expensive to keep. If the year you want from him happens, he will be more expensive for you. But obviously, that's the gamble you're taking if you don't extend him. All right, get your questions in for What I Need to Know. Any questions, send it now, 866-979-3776. We got a couple Seahawks Mariners ones. Let's see. Someone said, what do I need to know? How many other morons like me text in what we think are brilliant takes but never get read? I don't know. Usually the really bad or really good ones I'll try to read.
Here's the thing. Y'all send some fire texts sometimes. There's just so many that we can't always get to.
Sometimes what happens, too, is you guys are about, like, a minute behind when we're actually talking. So sometimes we'll have already hit break. And someone will send in a really good text. We'll read it during the break or a good joke or whatever. But right now we could really use them. And you have lots of time to send it in because we're going to start reading these at 45 after. So get them sent in now. 866-979-3776 coming your way next.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
I have a handful of stories that really affected me personally in my career and how I handle employees. Lee Johnson, coming out of his office as a customer, asked me where the service department is. I was like, yeah, go to the end of the hall, go up the stairs, go across the breezeway, open a door, go to the left. You want Chevy, go to the right. You want Mazda? Because I didn't even have enough time to say, hey, what kind of car do you have? Here comes Lee, and it's like, oh, man, come with me. Let me show you. And then having him come back and not dress me down is just almost like with that fatherly disappointment of like, hey, that's not how we take care of people. I mean, the right way is to walk her down to the stairs, walk her up the stairs, open the door for her, go over, across the way, open up that door, introduce her to somebody. So she's comfortable, she's made it to the right place, and that we value the business. What you did was you made it seem like she was an inconvenience to you. Customers are the purpose of our day.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Save no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman joined by a very special guest, Dr. Daniel Landis. He's on the Swedish CyberKnife team treating prostate cancer and accepting new patients. Dr. Landis, what could patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out. You essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Where are your patients from?
We see patients from all over, patients from out of state, Alaska, Idaho, from all over the world, honestly, since it's such a short treatment.
How can someone get a hold of you?
Yeah, I would encourage patients to reach out to us directly. We'd be happy to schedule a consultation.
Thank you, Dr. Landis and the team at Swedish CyberKnife for the wonderful work they do. And remember, you don't need a physician's referral. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. That's swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
Looking for an epic summer night in Seattle? Be here for the Mariners Drone Show at T-Mobile Park, Friday, August 22nd, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
It is Grand Salami time. Cal Raleigh with his third Grand Slam of the season.
The team is taking on the A's at 7:10, and after the game, we'll be lighting up the sky with hundreds of drones, celebrating Mariners icons past and present. Don't miss out on a jaw-dropping post-game show.
He got him. He puts him away, and the ball game is over. Another phenomenal save by Andres Munoz.
Head to Mariners.com to grab your seats and see the full lineup of special events, including Kids Appreciation Day, Sunday, August 24th, and the Logan Gilbert Funko Pop giveaway, September 8th to 10th. Plus, check out a great slate of marquee interleague matchups against the Padres, Cardinals, and Dodgers.
Julio clubs this deep out to left field and gone. Julio for the second time.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
I have so many questions for what I need to know. Here we go. Get them in, by the way, 866-979-3776. This is one that I teased, so we'll start with it. Pick one, says this listener. Ken Walker or Reek Woolen?
I'm going to go.
That you were to extend.
Yeah, extendo right now. I go Reek Woolen just because Reek Woolens are hard to find. I know he's like underperformed, but so is Ken Walker at some points. And unfortunately, that's why running backs don't get the big dollars, is because you feel like you can find another running back. And that's the way I feel about that position. Ken Walker's an avatar. You don't find 6'3", 6'4", running a 4.2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reek is he's a freak.
This one is insane to me. What I need to know, would you rather have a thick, soft cookie or a thin, crispy one? Who in their right mind?
I call that a stale cookie.
That's a ginger snap.
I want the soft one. Come on. You guys got Mrs. Fields out here?
Yeah.
They're in the mall.
Yeah. I haven't been to a mall in like 25 years, I feel like.
The answer is a large, thick, soft cookie. Like, that's the best cookie.
Mm-hmm. Hella calories.
Thin, crispy, yeah, but amazing. It's like cake. Thin, crispy is just, it's not for me. That's like a cookie from like, they made cookies like that in like 1920. Yeah, I don't want any of that. Have you ever fallen asleep on the job?
This job? No.
A job?
A job? Nah. All my jobs require me to be alert. I mean, I was an athlete in sports media.
Matt, Curtis, you guys ever fallen asleep at work?
No.
Matt
has for sure.
Matt for sure. Matt, why
doing the morning show on Saturdays with your dad?
Look, Mariners games go really late, and
okay, did something bad ever happen when you fell asleep? Like, you were late going to break, or something didn't happen, or like where you were like, oh no, this happened because I fell asleep.
It's been long enough. I can probably tell this story.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a few years ago. It was post game. I love Shannon Dreher to death. She's one of the best guests we have. But post-game is supposed to last an hour, and it does not last an hour.
So you were getting tired. It's really late. We're talking like 11 p.m.
It was an extra innings game.
So we're talking 11 p.m. midnight.
It was at least midnight, and I dozed off. And then it was funny. The silence is what woke me up, because I had just gotten used to like hearing Mariners baseball in my headphones, and then all of a sudden there was silence. I was like, oh, and then I just hit start, hoping that was a break. And Shannon asked me, hey, were you a little late there? And I was like, oh, yeah, I was getting audio from the computer in the back. But if Kyle's listening, this is a joke, and I made it all up.
Good one, Matt. What I need to know. If you were made famous for doing something dumb and the video of it went viral, is the publicity that the Bump and Stacy show would get be worth the public humiliation?
It depends how humiliating it is.
Now, what's the number one rule of the show?
You gotta do it for the clout.
Do it for the clout is the number one rule of the show.
Man, I don't know. Depends.
Like, if it's where you become, what if it's like, okay, you do become a laughingstock publicly, nationally, for like a week and then it's gone?
Nah, I'm good.
What if it's not embarrassing? It's just something that's like viral and funny.
It was funny, yeah. Embarrassing, nah, man, because I plan on doing this for a while, and I don't want to be known as the guy that did that thing.
Yeah, I don't even know what it would be. It would have to be like, I don't know. The only things that go viral for radio shows are really, really god-awful takes
Yeah.
or like getting into a fight with a player, which would
Yeah.
never happen.
Like me mispronouncing a word or something, fine.
Yeah.
You know, or I'm
Satisfaction.
good with that.
Charbonnet. Yeah.
I'm good with that.
What I need to know. Can there be a player that's so valuable in the clubhouse or locker room that keeping them on the team is worth the risk that replacing them with a better performance on the field because it would upset the team's vibe? They said, parentheses, Dom Solano question.
I was going to say, that's the first name that came to my mind. I think there are some guys who are glue guys, and the public might not get it or understand it and want him or her gone, and they'll be frustrated. But the guys in the locker room are reporting back to coaches and having conversations, and he does something for that team.
I think the rules need to be, one, he cannot be super costly. So maybe you have, it's Carlos Santana. He'll hit a home run for you. He'll give you a fine job at first base, but like he's not going to be your best player, but it's worth it. If it's costing you, like, oh my God, this guy is legitimately, he is a black hole in the lineup. He's costing us wins. He's making errors in the infield or whatever it is, then it's a problem.
Well, Solano pinch hit the other day, came in with a hit.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then it's okay, great.
I just don't want to see him every day.
Yeah. But no, there's no guy that people love enough where if he costs you games regularly, they're going to be like, oh, but he's the life of the party.
Yeah, nah.
We love him. 866-979-3776. If the future texted and said the Mariners won the ALCS, but they lost the World Series in heartbreaking fashion, would it still be worth it?
Definitely. Break my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Break my heart.
They've never been to a World Series.
Exactly.
Just the getting there.
Takes me zero time to think. Would you rather get to a World Series or lose or never go to a World Series? The answer is always get to a World Series. What are you talking about? Bump. Not to question players' toughness or want to, but are there some players that are timid coming back even if they've been cleared from injury due to fear of being injured or some other mental block?
Oh, for sure. When I came back from injury, I had a screw in my foot. My first 2 practices were garbage because I didn't believe that my foot was healed, and mentally I couldn't put my foot in the ground and cut. So I had them take me back to the hospital and show me the x-rays and say they were the doctor. Well, I explained this to me. So you tell me, look me in my eyes and tell me my foot is good.
Yeah.
And then all was good after that.
What I need to know, why doesn't the NFL have separate preseason and regular season records? They already split regular and postseason records.
That's a good question. They should do that.
I do think it's interesting they don't keep preseason stats at all, considering they are like televised games that are technically
there's some
official
sites that
preseason
do,
games.
but the NFL officially doesn't.
That's true. If you go to NFL GSIS, I don't know what the actual, I just call it Jesus.
I call it Jesus too.
They have it. Okay. What I need to know, Bump, having played college ball and the NFL, which quarterback was the hardest to catch? Not because they were inaccurate, but like literally the hardest ball to hit your hands when they throw it. Who had the most zip?
Gary Rogers. He was a backup quarterback when I was at Washington State. He's a local kid, went to Kubiak, I want to say high school, and he was a big boy, about 6'7", and had a rocket. He there was no touch with Gary. He was just firing that thing in there.
If the Mariners do or did win a World Series, who would you want to beat along the way? The Astros for sure.
Yeah, it's easy.
And depending how it works out, which wouldn't be the case this year, hypothetically, if it was now. But Yankees would be solid. I don't know. Curtis, if the playoffs were right now, who would they have to beat? Assuming they were, let's say, the number 1, 2 wild card team?
They're the number 1 wild card right now.
So if the playoffs were tomorrow.
So they would play, I believe they would play Boston in the wild card series, and then the Yankees would play the worst division winner. So it'd be Yankees, Astros, Mariners, Red Sox in the wild card round.
Okay, and then you'd win. You'd beat.
And the Mariners would be hosting that wild card round.
Yeah, and then you'd play winner of Yankees, Astros.
You would play,
No.
I believe, the lowest seeded advancing team plays the highest seeded team. So it'd be either Detroit or Toronto.
That's tough. I don't love that path. I don't love it. Let's see. Oh, this person said, how often do you actually get recognized in public? At non-sporting events?
Like non-sporting?
Never.
Every now and then.
I've been recognized at Costco.
So you go to
After
Costco
5
more.
a.m.
Stacey's like, you get recognized at Costco?
Yeah, I just waited in the
day.
parking lot for hours and no one recognized me until this man told me I had to leave.
Look, if you're at a Costco parking lot at 5 a.m., you'll probably get recognized
I thought it said 5 a.m. I thought that it said it opened at 5 a.m. I'm really glad that I didn't go there at 5 a.m. I was very close to going there at 5 a.m. But I've learned something new today. I think we all have, and I think we're all better for it. Wyman and Bob coming your way next.
It's the Mariners' push to the playoffs, and it's only on Seattle Sports.
Pitch swung on. That's rolled. Left field line towards the pole. Back-to-back jacks. Cal Raleigh, Julio.
Up next, a long 9-game East Coast road trip tomorrow afternoon. It's the first of 3 against the Orioles in Baltimore.
First pitch at 3:35. Pregame at 2:30.
On Seattle Sports, on 710 and the Seattle Sports app, the home of the Mariners.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Superior Linen Service will help your company with logoed apparel, uniforms, floor mats, linen, and more. Give us a call. We answer the phone. Superior Linen Service. It's what we do. Visit suplinen.com.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
The 2025 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2025 training camp collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field or online at seahawks.com/pro shop.
It's back to school time again, and parents are pretty stressed out.
Can you blame us? The supply list, the sign-ups, the scheduling.
At least haircuts are easy at Great Clips.
It's true. With the Great Clips app, I checked him in before we left home, so we were in and out in no time.
I got a great haircut, and Mom got to check something off the to-do list. She really loves that.
Back to school can be a lot, but haircuts are easy at Great Clips. Download the app today.
Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rirucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since its inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
You gotta love baseball season, but when it comes to your windows, you don't want any curveballs. Rick Riz here, reminding you to trust your clubhouse with locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Experience the difference with high-quality products, expert installation, and top-notch customer service. It's always a home run with Pella. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Just go to PellaPNW.com.